Hey, how are you doing, guys? Uh, we got one person waiting. 'Cause, oh, there's seven now. Sorry, guys, just got a message. I hope you're all doing well. Beautiful spring day here in Adelaide. Um, 24 degrees Celsius, so well, that's the forecast anyway, but blue skies. I was out earlier, had coffee, and just wicked weather at the moment. So, is anyone going to speak, or you're going to be pretty bored if you just got to listen to me? Been trying out some older warships. Caught up with a few people in there. Don't see. I don't know where that came from. How you doing anyway, bud? Good to see you still out and about. I had a few days off here just to avoid all the drama and the trash. YouTube's unbelievable. So it was something. Yeah, I remember you said you were back over there, Don. Back to work. Jeez, man, I thought you were done with that. But I know that feeling. I get bored shitless at times. Well, good on you, Don. That's the way to do it. Just to think about it myself. And okay. And I also know that when you say it's costing a pretty penny, it it definitely is. But good on you. It's nice having the free time, and it does get a little bit boring. Especially in my case, where a lot of guys are still pretty penny. So a lot of my mates are still working, so during the week, you don't get to see them. They've got families as well, so I don't get to catch up with them too much. If I hang out with the younger lads, I'll get myself in trouble. So so who else is around? Surely there's more than just Don going to talk in here. So you did go missing there for a while, Don, but I'm pretty sure from memory you were spending time with family, so... End up catching up with my son finally last night. Seems to go missing for a couple of weeks at a time. Yeah. You're spot on with that too. Yeah, I've actually donated to a young lady in the wheelchair. Put an anonymous donation in. Yeah, I remember the daughters, yeah. I think Barry is fucking paranoid and worried about getting busted. But his lies are, I don't know. He's just a compulsive liar. He's not going to change for anybody. Frank is an issue. So we good to hear how that GoFundMe that young lady is doing. How you doing that, Andy? Well, I'm not going to argue with you, King of Calves. But at the same time, the guy's put himself out there. We don't have to fucking like him. I mean, hard to like anyone that's done some of the shit he's done. And then in my case, where I financially helped him out and then got the mouthful for it. So I got no reason to like the guy at all. How you doing? You just wake up with something.
I have literally just opened my fucking eyes. I've seen because this Windows 10 setup, it shows me I've got a little fucking box that goes black and it shows me there's things in my email and it said you're live. So, fucking just literally over my eyes. Well, he's live. All right, fucking, and I've been listening to Binaural Beats anyhow. But I went to bed too late, of course. Fucking.
Yeah.
And,
well, Don says a good point there. Overstayers, I mean, it gets talked about in the US, illegal immigration and shit. I know it's a big issue here in Australia, King of Calves. How you doing, Amani? How you doing, MJ?
I mean, it is a fine line, you know what I mean? But, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So these guys are just being responsible citizens.
That's true. And King of Calves, I tell you what, leave it be. I'm sure there's lots of fucking Australians who don't like the idea of overstayers and illegal immigrants here.
Oh, fucking hell.
And some people would say it's fucking part of your duty to fucking catch them out. Personally, I don't give two shits about the guy who's just trash. Playing pretend cops, well, that's your opinion. You're welcome to it, King of Calves.
Yeah. Stop playing that fucking pay game, fucking World of Warcraft, you fucker. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I found out what was going on with the fucking the battleship thing. You didn't tell me. He's talking about Barry, MJ. You have to research them all in order. You can't just jump a ship or anything. That's what I was trying to do.
Oh, see, I mean, I was going to, it's like, as I was saying to Manic, who seemed to have fuck all idea as well, when I fucking gave him a bit of a hand, it was like, I'm fairly experienced in them, and I seem to be about a lot more than fucking say gutter, but I've only been playing 3 weeks, Mark.
Yeah.
Fucking, although I got myself to Perth. HMAS Perth. Fucking hell. That was like fucking race car. Goes so fucking fast. But
is that a destroyer, is it? Or?
Yeah, no, cruiser. It's a cruiser.
Okay.
But it's I've got torpedoes and shit. It's quite fun. It's fucking. Although it's hard enough. Sorry?
I had a look at some of the videos for the beta testing of the submarines. I don't know what to think about them.
What did someone say? That they'll probably put that by itself. Where's it going to happen? I mean, I don't know.
In battles against ships.
All right. But maybe they, what these guys are like. I mean, they got warship blitz and fucking warship this and warship that, you know what I mean? So they probably put it in a part where there's.
Hang on, just King of Calves. That's a little bit personal, and isn't why you don't know the guy? You're calling him a washed-up mall cop. There's a little bit of fucking. You got a vested interest in this or something, King of Calves? Because that's pretty personal. Jump on if you want, MJ. I've seen that the lump over there in Belgium fucking couldn't handle fucking the heat when we're fucking having words in another live stream, so he's blocked me now. So, but that's what happens when you argue with someone that doesn't have the intelligence to argue back.
There's a fucking, what's it, the quote with fucking George Carlin, like, don't argue with idiots. Well, actually, I suppose it actually doesn't. No, it doesn't apply in this case. Say, if you can't win because it says something like, don't argue with idiots, they'll drag you down to their level and fucking beat you.
Well, that's true. Plus, it's hard to argue with someone with a childlike mentality. I think his last comment before I took him apart was, get lost in space. Like, what the fuck?
Well, that sounds to me like he's been smoking too much pot again.
Oh, probably.
You know what I mean? Because you get those
U-
kind of
usually, usually he gets dirty when he hasn't had any.
Yeah, but he's dirty with you, so you know what I mean? So it doesn't fucking matter.
Hey, he's
You know-
going.
Hey, how you doing, King of Carbs?
Oh,
Yeah, not
you
too
know,
bad.
look at
Can I
those
just I give my two bob
Yeah,
on the whole
Mate,
thing?
I don't stop anyone from this. The only thing, mate, I don't want people to do is attack people's families, you know, like their wives and their kids. The guys, fucking fair game, mate.
Oh, anyone's fair game, but the thing I don't get is whether anyone's an overstayer or not. Right? At the end of the day, that's up to immigration of whatever respective country to deal with. It's not up to people like WTF to be offering, hey, you need to show me your passport and I'll give you $5,000. Like, I fucking hate these former cops who go to another country and think they have any fucking authority to be dictating to other people. They're just as much as a civilian or a tourist as anyone else, you know? So,
Yeah, I hear you, and I don't disagree.
and
with
I
that.
don't know, Barry. I don't particularly like the guy from what I've heard, but that's a problem for NBI to deal with.
You know,
Not-
the overstaying thing, I think, is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much shit that's gone on with that guy, which is why a lot of people don't like him around, don't want him around. And honestly, you know, to be totally truthful, the guy gives anyone who's a traveller a bad name.
and Don, and Don's
People say the
right.
same thing about Australians, though, too, man.
Yeah, I agree, Kinko.
But
Sorry, Andy?
where Don says that I was about to thinking the same thing, you know. At the end of the day, if I see someone murder someone, do I just go, oh, fuck, it's got nothing to do with me?
Nah, come on, that's a bit different. That's a bit fucking different.
Hang on, laws are the laws. So, why see someone steal something? Let's forget murder, that's very extreme, all right? I see someone steal
No,
something.
they murder. If you did see someone murder, all you'd be doing is reporting it. You wouldn't be trying to press the charges yourself.
I'd probably just
person before a court.
Well, you wouldn't be different, I suppose, but you know, it depends on the person, the situation. Same with citizens arrest. There is a thing called citizens arrest at the end of the day. It's not like it's not a fucking thing.
Yeah, but the people you're talking about aren't citizens of the Philippines, so they can't do a fucking citizens arrest.
Of course they can. They're all fucking. I'm pretty
I
sure.
don't know the law. The laws might be different.
No, you and I can't. I just think, look, I'm sure people have reported it. Leave it to MBI. Like, from what I've heard of the guy, he's not the sort of person.
I've seen those sides.
You know, like, just fucking leave it at that. The Popeye types and the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot types, they're fucking worse in my opinion. Thinking that they're the world fucking police and random tourists show a copy of their passport to prove to them that they've got a stamp. Like, who the fuck do they think they are?
Okay, King Cars, here's a really good comment here by Scott. If you want to break the law and pretty much advertise it on YouTube, don't be surprised when people talk about it, take interest and shine a light. And I think that's a very good point. That he's brought the attention on himself, mate.
I don't doubt that, but if you go into the Philippines, why would you want to waste your time investigating Barry and what he does? Like, have you got nothing better to do?
I don't.
It's the least of my worries. I've heard what he's done to some people, and I'm just like, well, I would avoid that person. You know? that.
I
As
guess.
for immigration status and passport stamps, that's up to MBI, not me.
So you seem to have done the touristy thing and visited, and I'm not sure what sort of length
Well,
of
I've been
stay, but
twice.
yeah. Well, see,
I've stayed about a month each time.
some of these guys now live there. That's their home. So I guess they do have a vested interest of some sort.
Depending on the country, it doesn't matter if you're a fucking citizen or not. You can actually arrest someone. Well, citizen arrest.
I think everyone's better off just leaving it up to MBI to deal with it. If you want to report it, leave it at that. But
I think I agree with that. Definitely agree with that.
it's not up to other people to enforce Philippines immigration law. It's up to MBI. That's their job. That's what they're tasked with. And
Well, that's really.
it's not up to Barry either. Barry doesn't have to prove he has a passport stamp to anyone other than the fucking MBI.
Well, no, that's right. At the end of the day, it's easy. Just
that's how I see it.
Off, doesn't he? There's no one. It doesn't have to do anything. But
if you look at the situation, and it's been going on for a long time, to be perfectly honest, the country would fucking be a lot better off without him. I mean, you don't want people like that over there that give expats and tourists a bad name. I mean, any of the girls or people that have had dealings with him over there, hey, Rayman, they're going to have a bad taste left in their mouth.
But they have said this before.
Yeah, but look, man, these girls aren't these sweet, innocent women either, man. Like, at some point, they have to take some responsibility for their actions as well. Like, I only know bits and pieces because I've only been on this scene maybe a year. I've listened to podcasts in the past here and there. I don't have the full story. I know enough to know I wouldn't want to meet the guy. I've got nothing really against him. I don't, I just think it's something for MBI to deal with and leave it at that. Like, some of these guys are way too heavily invested in it that I think they've got going on in their life to worry about his every fucking move.
Yeah. MJ, is that you in the back there? Just let me know, because we've had guys try to imitate other
Me
people.
personally, if I go anywhere, I follow their rules. I follow their immigration rules, their law, and I would hope other people do the same. But if they don't, that's an issue between them and immigration. It doesn't involve me, or it doesn't involve other people.
Just say that in the YouTube chat, MJ, because it's you. Okay, no, thanks, mate.
I don't know what they're saying, but
oh, you can't read the chat?
No, I'm using my phone. I'm off visiting my kids at the moment, so I shouldn't even fucking be on here.
Here's some of the comments. One of them here again is, it's not about better to do, it's about what's right. So do you not care about the law? And I think if you're living there, King of Cars, I think you do have a vested interest.
So you report it. I'm sure MBI have a website, report it, and I would leave it at that. But
yeah, well, I agree with that.
There's not much more you can really do. It's not up to you to investigate. And when I say you, I mean like whoever's there. It's not up to other people to investigate, chase him down, blah, blah, blah.
Nobody's
being investigated. What are we talking about here? I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
I'm talking about Barry, and King of Cars is just saying, like report it, whatever, and then leave it up to the MBI.
Well, that's what's been done. Who's been investigating them?
No, I'm going about like that Whiskey Tango Foxtrot guy, fucking wannabe cop telling him that he's going to meet him. He'd pay him $5,000 or some shit. Had to show him a passport stamp. If someone asked me to see my passport stamps, I tell them to fuck off. It's not your business.
Is that why Barry's been hiding, or what?
I think Barry's got that. I think he has that right too. Any passport stamps in his passport are between him and the country he's in. It's not anyone else's business.
I'll tell you, King
whether he's an overstayer or not.
This is how that came about. Is that Barry has no money. He's doesn't get a lot of cash, under $500 a month he lives on over there. So the offer was just made, like, show us that you're not an overstayer, and we'll give you, I think it was $1,000 cash, which for anyone is a lot of money if you haven't got that. Hey, Sinister, how you doing? If you haven't got money. So in Barry's case, it was kind of stupid not to leave them all with red faces and prove it, and at the same time make himself some money. I mean, if I was in that boat,
Well, look, he probably is an overstayer.
But you know what, though? Let's be honest. All this is brought upon himself, man. I mean, when he's brought that on himself, man. I mean, he lets out everything.
I agree. Whatever his problems are, like his problems, but I just don't think it's fair to expect him to prove to random people on YouTube whether he has a passport stamp or not. I think that's strictly between him and NBI or whatever immigration, whoever fucking deals with it, and it's no one else's business.
No, it's not. But he keeps on, like, when people bring, and he'll just keep on, like, kind of like egging it on. He'll mention it again, and here's my passport, but then he doesn't open it or show, his, if he has a stamp. I mean, he kind of brings it on to himself. I mean, he just doesn't know. He doesn't know how to just leave YouTube.
King of Cars said that himself. I guess he's had a little bit of a rundown on what Barry's like, but he does put it out there.
I've heard bits and pieces. I've heard how he, some young Filipino put a bill in her name and he ran off. But again, some of the responsibility's got to lay with them. If you're an adult and you vouch for someone, well, sometimes it goes wrong. So lesson learned: be careful who you vouch for.
Well, before that, even King of Cars.
Because these women aren't these fucking sweet, innocent, perfect, do no wrong creatures that some of you guys make them out to be. They're fucking mercenaries.
But King of Cars, one of the other things, this is what pretty well started a lot of it off, I think, was when he was first over there and he realised he couldn't live there on the money he was on, and wanted to go home, and he cried to people on YouTube that he didn't have the money to get home. So people gave him the money for an air ticket to go home, and he spent the money, stayed there and spent the money.
More fool them for giving him money. That's why I don't donate to anyone.
That's true too. If
you want to take holidays,
But what it does is it tells people what sort of character he has. So I guess people don't like him, and he's brought that on himself with the shit he's done himself. I mean, I've watched live streams where he'd wake his girlfriend up at 3:00 in the morning to make him a coffee, and it's one of those 3-in-1s. All you got to do is open the pack, pour it in, and put water in.
There's some women who seek those relationships out. You can't save them. There's some women like men like that. Some women want to be fucking mistreated. I don't know what's wrong with them. Some women like that. You can't save them from themselves. So I think adults being adults, they're responsible for their own choices. So
I remember he begged that poor OFW Filipino for load. I mean, he was doing things like that. That's why I don't agree, man. You have a lot of these vloggers, not all, but there is some guys out there that will encourage people. Hey, man, if you just have $500 or $600 or $800 a month, go ahead, fuck it, just come down to the Philippines. You could do it if you want down here. And I think that's misleading, and I think that's also you're not living anything spectacular. You're barely surviving on that type of money there, and it's just going to be. Say again.
If they want to live like that, that's their prerogative, man.
No, but the thing is, though, what eventually happens is they start leeching off people in the Philippines, and they start leeching off Filipinos. That's why I completely disagree when guys say, "Oh yeah, you come down here on $500 a month." Eventually, those guys, they end up broke out in the street in the Philippines, and they end up begging for fucking money. That's why I don't like it when guys say, "Oh yeah, you come home and live on the cheap." Those guys eventually, man, they're going to start leeching off people, and they're taking away from poor Filipinos there, man. That's why I don't.
I don't like these types who travel with no money either. But if you're going to go and beg on the street, more fool the people for giving them the money. You know what I mean? Like you'll never get a dime out of me, no matter how much you fucking beg. And from my perspective, if that's how other people should treat them, like these people begging for cash on live streams. If you're going to give them money, then that's your choice to give them money. But then you can't turn and fucking blame the beggar for people giving him money. Like, people can spend their money as they see fit, as far as I'm concerned, and I'll spend my money as I see fit, and that doesn't include giving donations to anyone. So I don't know.
How you doing, Don?
People worry. People in this Philippines genre worry way too much about how other people are spending their money. They should just worry about their own money.
Yeah. So, hey guys, thank you for welcoming me to this genre and community. I love being here. But King, I actually wanted to come on because I love that you're passionate about your position. I have a completely different position. I'm not gonna, I don't want to change your mind, but I want to give people a different perspective based on your observations. So I think that as I traveled around the world, I spent a year traveling all over the world. I was in Vietnam and Thailand and Philippines and Cambodia. I had an office in Santiago, Chile, and an office in England, and so I've spent a lot of time in the world. I've seen things that I thought were inappropriate, and you're given two choices. You can either say nothing or say something. I think we should say something. Now, I get that you go, we should ask Barry about his or Bumma or whatever about is he an overstayer? But listen, I live in America. I am passionate about people being an overstayer if you're here. So I can't allow Barry to go to the Philippines and be an overstayer there when Barry is a Trump supporter and quite frankly, he's a very adamant person about people that are illegal aliens in America. If he's an illegal alien in the Philippines, then he needs to make amends and he needs to straighten that out. Now, this is kind of how I feel. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't be like passionate about America, but go to the Philippines and go, well, they won't follow me. It's easy. It's not important. No one's going to follow me. It's kind of how I feel. Now, I would love your response to that.
Well, what response? It's not like I hold some false
I
equivalence.
don't know. I'm just asking you your opinion.
I don't think overstayers. I think if you go to a foreign country, you should obey their laws.
So I get it. So wait a minute. So let me ask. And I appreciate this.
Overstays in America shouldn't be there, but it's not up to me to enforce it.
But wait a minute. But who is it in? So if okay, so you think that someone who breaks the law, let's say an overstayer. Now, I don't know how you classify that. You maybe a shoplifter could be higher or lower. A murderer obviously is higher. Embezzler could be higher. So all laws fall in some level. Now, do you believe that you have no? You should not say anything about anyone who breaks the law because you have no. You don't really owe the public anything. You say, well, listen, the cops will sort it all out. Or do you believe, like I believe, that we should speak up? We should call out injustice. We should call out when someone has broken the law to allow those who are in power to fix it.
Okay, but listen, you can call it out. So contact NBI, let them know, leave it at that. But that's not what you guys are doing. You guys are going on about it every single day. It's like you're turning up to the scene of the crime every day to go on and on about it. Like,
So,
and to
okay,
be
so-
honest, look, you should obey the laws when you go to a foreign country, blah blah blah. But on a hierarchy of crimes, being an overstay, it's not, it's not
Really?
something I would do. But it's
But
not.
where do
It's not
you
a heinous
classify that?
crime.
Where do you classify an overstayer? I mean, so is it worse than a thief?
It's
Is
on-
it
No,
more?
it's not
than,
worse.
Is
It's
it
not
less
worse
than a
than a thief.
murderer?
It's
So
on.
where's it fall?
I'll put it this way: it's on the lower end, and obviously the MBI feel the same. Otherwise, they would enforce it more strictly.
Do you think? So I disagree with that. Do you think it's just a question of that they don't think it's important, or they don't have the resources? So in America, we are completely looking at it completely different. Where an overstayer or an illegal alien could cost our country $650,000 a year every year they're here. Now, that's the resources it takes to take care of an illegal alien. Now, we have 12 to 20 million illegal aliens. And so we are just now dealing with the issues. So the Philippines doesn't have the resources for that. So it's not like, stealing gum from a local store. An illegal alien, which is what Barry would be, not an overstayer. I don't believe an overstayer is the right word. I think an illegal alien is the right word because it's the same word we use here in America. An illegal alien takes a lot of resources from that country. And so you which side are you on? Are you just, okay, well, it just happens and no big deal?
I've made it clear.
It's not.
If I go to another country, I obey their laws whether I like it or not, and that includes any sort of immigration policy. But if someone else breaks that, I feel that's between them and the host country. It's not up to me to police.
So let me ask you this:
it shouldn't be up to you to police it either.
I get it,
and I don't think Barry owes it to anyone to show him their passport any more than I would have to show any of you guys my passport. If any of you guys
travel to Italy and you, let me ask you this. If you travel to Italy and you get your backpack stolen and your passport stolen, your wallet stolen, do you call the police? Or you go, nah, it's really between the police and them, but not between me. I'm not going to report it because it doesn't affect me.
My stuff was stolen.
Wait a minute.
I'd probably check the local police station to see if anything was turned in. Where do you draw the line?
Wait a minute. Where do you draw the line? Are you saying that if it only affects you personally, you actually bring it up, or is the right or wrong something you bring up? Now listen. If you live your life, that here's what happens. If it happens to me personally, I bring it up. But if it happens to me around me, I don't want to bring it up. If I see a theft, if I see a murder, if I see someone stabbed, if I see someone stolen,
that's different.
Wait a minute. Why is that different? Where do you draw the line?
If you saw a theft, if you were witness to a theft or a murder, that's happening immediately in your vicinity. Yeah, you'd have an obligation to report it. But I'm over here in fucking Australia, all right? And some of you guys who are going about the Philippines haven't been there in 30 fucking years or whatever. Like it's not your responsibility. I spent the last year there, so business. Not you, but others in this community.
Wait a minute.
You're demanding to see his passport. Like it's not really any of your business.
King, I have been there. I was there this year. So I'm a guy that was there this year. I'm a guy that believes that in America, and I'm in America now, that illegal aliens should not be here because it's an expense on our economy. Now, it costs us money to have them. And same thing in the Philippines. It's actually a magnitude in the Philippines. Now, I'm just saying, if you know someone is breaking the law, because obviously now we all, we obviously have not seen, plane tickets or his passport, but we're reasonable. Wait a minute. Slow down. We're reasonable people who can make a decision based on things that we've seen. Now, you're on the side that says, wait a minute. If you haven't seen specifically one thing or the other, you can't decide. I don't believe that. I think that we can make decisions based on information that is readily available to everyone on YouTube to say, is this person good or bad? and then you're
Well,
obligated
no, hang
to
on,
be
hang
one
on. It's
side
not
or
a
the other.
question of whether we're not discussing whether he's good or bad. I don't particularly care. I've got nothing against him. He's not someone I would want to meet and hang out with. But the issue is whether he's an overstayer or not, whether he's
Okay,
abiding
so
by
you
immigration
think he's
law.
not an overstayer?
I don't doubt for a fact that he is.
Wait a
But
minute.
my
So wait a
point
minute.
is, it's been reported to
I'm sorry.
MBI.
So now, wait a minute. You think he's an overstayer, but you think you have no obligation, no sense of the world that he's an okay guy just because he's an overstayer. You go, it's not my responsibility. It's not. I should not call him out.
I don't have the fucking authority to go up to him and demand to see his
Well, of
passport
course you
and his
don't.
fucking plane tickets.
Listen,
in fact, to
you
be
live in
honest,
Australia.
I'll tell you what, if I was a Philippines official, I'd be more concerned about you guys who think you have the right to go over there and borderline impersonate Philippines immigration, going around demanding passports and plane
you live in Australia. Let me say,
from other tourists. I would be blacklisting you guys because you have no right to be over there demanding this of other tourists.
You see a theft in Australia. Do you feel like you stop? Do you see? Wait a minute, King. You see a theft in Australia. You see someone steal something. Do you bring it up, or do you just say, "Oh, I don't really have an obligation to make this right. I don't have an obligation to."
If I see someone steal with my own two eyes, I've witnessed it. Okay, all you have is speculation in regards to Barry. That's all you have. Hey.
I appreciate, King, that you actually converse with me. I think that you've taken a position that is very hard to make it right. Anyways, I just want to come on.
Leave it up to the officials to do their job. It's not up to other people who haven't been to the Philippines in 30 years or.
Listen, I spent the last year there, and I was in Dumaguete and Cebu and Palawan. I was there, so I'm not a guy that wasn't there 30 years ago. I was a guy that was there.
All right, but you're there as a tourist or a long-term stay or whatever. You're not there as a Philippines immigration officer.
And so I should just look the other way when I see the same thing I complain about in America.
At the end of the day, do you have any proof or evidence, any hard evidence, like if you witnessed the murder or a theft? No, you do not. So leave it up to immigration. The only people who have got the right to request that from Barry is MBI. No one else has the fucking right to do that. No more than they have the right to ask you to see your passport.
We don't have any evidence that Jeffrey Epstein fucked any girl who was 14 years old. But quite frankly, he hung himself in his jail cell because, quite frankly, the evidence was so big that eventually it would come out. So quite frankly,
have the right
you know what you're talking about.
To the presumption of innocence until proven guilty.
Really?
Okay. I just think that's up to immigration, not me, not you, not anyone else.
Listen, I get it. I appreciate it.
That's my point.
I appreciate.
And of all the fucking shit that goes on there in the fucking Philippines, to hone in on that one, when I think even if he is an overstayer, it's a minor crime in the hierarchy of crimes.
I get it. Listen, everyone on the stream gets that you really don't care. You're okay with this, and I appreciate.
I'm not okay with it.
I appreciate that you're honest.
To enforce Philippines immigration. I'm not a Filipino. I'm not a Filipino immigration officer. It's up to them,
King,
not me.
King,
it's been
you're the
reported.
best.
What more do you want?
King, everyone.
I'll be honest. You know what I think it is. You know what I really think it is. There's a lot of guys over there doing a lot of shit they wouldn't do back home, and they like to cover that up by honing in on crimes of other people.
King,
they cover up their own.
I'm going to say what a lot of people.
They cover up. There's a lot of people there who cover up their own misdeeds by pointing at the misdeeds of others.
Well, let me tell you this, King. I think you're a good guy. I think you appreciate, and you're really like centered to be like this really stand-up guy. But I will tell you, you're looking at a man Barry, who is not that great a guy, but you're
I'm
trying
not saying
to.
he is a great
It's a,
guy.
wait a minute, it's well, I think you're trying to find a way to do this, to find a
I
way
barely know.
that
I've spoken
makes
to him a
him.
few
Wait a
times. I
minute, they're
barely know
trying,
the
wait a
guy.
minute, you're trying to find a way to make him be a good guy, and this is it's a
I got
hard
no,
sell.
no. That's not true. I'm not trying to make him out. I barely know him. From what I've heard of him, I already said I wouldn't even want to meet the guy. So that's bullshit. I'm not trying to make out he's a good guy. I'm just saying leave Filipino law and the internet's enforcement up to Filipinos who are in that role to do that. Not fucking washed up mall cops who get on here demanding to see people's fucking.
Listen, I get it. Listen, King, you listen. You have a certain way to look at the world that a lot of people don't. I think that I look at the world and say, I can't ask the same thing here in America about illegal aliens that Barry is very free to be in the Philippines. I had to call Barry and say, listen, you're an overstayer. We all know this. It's not a big secret. It's not like, it's not it's not the gold from the Marcos gold that's hidden in caves. Everyone knows Barry's an overstayer. But in America, here's what I do. I say, if you're an overstayer in America, an illegal alien, you need to go back. I ask the same thing in the countries like the Philippines or Thailand or Cambodia or Vietnam, where I just spent a year traveling. My countrymen have to be held to the same standards. Now, and I'm sure Germans and French and Australia, they all have their same thing. But ultimately, I require I can't be one guy who requires in America to be one way and then overseas and go, shit, let Barry overstay. Not going to happen.
The only position you can hold is one of an American and expect people not to overstay in your country. Okay, you're not Filipino. You don't work for NBI. You have no right to ask.
Hang on, as an American citizen, which Don C is, doesn't he have the right to make comments and be pissed off with other Americans who are making an ass of themselves in another country?
Right, but where does it end? I mean, these guys go there for holidays, right? Not to talk about
where does it end?
It ends when they don't, or they're not an ass.
Let's get it right here. First off, no one's trying to make a citizen's arrest on him. All people have said has called him out on it and wanting to report it, and that's where it should be left. You're right. Report it to the NBI and then let them deal with it. But the issue that I guess people are getting frustrated at is that the Philippines don't have the resources. The NBI don't have the resources to chase up every overstayer.
They don't, and because ultimately, being an overstayer, it's not a huge crime. It's not something I would do.
Wait. King.
But it's not a huge crime.
Wait.
You're going about murder like it's some equivalent to murder or something.
Wait a minute, King.
And overstays in America is a completely different thing.
No, it's not. It's worse. It's worse than the Philippines. Now, let me tell you why. And I'll say my piece, and I will let you say your piece. Now, King, here's the deal. A country that does not have a lot of resources, an overstayer takes a lot from the country. Now, Barry, you say, okay, he doesn't get resources from the country, but what he does is he, as we all know, he takes money from women and poor people for phones, for refrigerators. Now, ultimately, and we saw Mike that had the heart attack, that there was 25 or 27,000 pesos, or $20. It was 200,000 pesos. Now, the question is this: that's not true. It costs a lot for a country to absorb an overstayer. Now, because they take a lot of money out. That's not right, and it's not real. Now, you should just acknowledge that that's not, you know what? I didn't think about it that way.
I never said it's right. I never said it's right.
Okay, but listen,
okay.
I'm just telling you that, listen, as much as it costs in the U.S., in a country like the Philippines that has no money.
As the saying goes, a fool and their money is soon parted.
Yeah,
I'll
hang,
tell you a
hang on,
big-
hang on. King of Cards.
Dude, listen.
Don't
It'll be
talk over
Philippines-
each
holiday
other.
in hell before
One at a
these
time.
The Philippines, they don't have a lot of money. Are you telling me that you really look at like a Barry or or Frank or any of these people and go, listen, the people that they could rip off or take money from, it's not a big issue, and then and multiply it by thousands. Of course it is. We don't want to be, as an Americans, as the people who are taking money from a country that doesn't have the ability to even pave the roads. So I'm just telling you, it's not a crime that you just go, you just throw it away. Oh, it's no big deal. It is a big deal, and of course we should all we should all look at it and go, it's not great, it's not good, and we should all say we don't agree with it.
And
I don't agree with it either. But
hang on, we're losing sight of something here. We're losing sight of the fact that it's not just the overstaying. There's lots of issues here with Barry. It's not just the overstaying. I mean,
yeah, but
if I was American,
money, there's a certain level of personal
Thunder.
responsibility you need to have as an
I
adult.
would love your input to like listen to this both sides and give us some middle ground. Please take both sides, and I could be wrong. What the hell? I mean, but
No, look,
I appreciate your response.
Well, what I see King of Cards doing is just playing devil's advocate, and I guess I can see his point. It's not for a tourist over there to go and make citizens arrests and that. But at the same time, when you've got
I'd
somebody
be fucking
like
wary
him,
of doing that for anyone inclined to do so.
and if you've got somebody like that, I don't have an issue with people going there and reporting the guy, because one, he is stealing money from the country when he's not paying his visa fees. There's that. There's also the fact that if I was American, I'd be pretty ashamed of the way that guy carries on over there, and the way he treats the locals at times, or particularly the girls. You don't need that shit happening there, because eventually everyone will get tarred with the same brush.
Look, these girls aren't the sweet and innocent little things
No,
that you guys make them out to be. Okay,
I give you that, and I've never said that, mate.
Yeah, but come on. I tell you now,
dude,
I would
really?
guess the sort of girls that knock around with Barry are probably just the female equivalent of Barry.
I don't know, because over there you got a really strange situation where the girls will chase up Western men, and we don't know what Barry tells those girls to get with them.
I don't know what a lot of guys tell those girls, that goes for everyone. Hey, me included.
Really? I mean, do you really think that Barry is the guy that is going to make all these women swoon?
I think he's
so great. I mean, are you kidding?
I think Barry is the guy a lot of you guys use to point at his misdeeds to obscure your own. That's what I think it really is about. You can say, look at this guy, look at all the bad he does. Don't look my way, don't look my direction, don't look at the bullshit I've told the girls.
You know what? How you doing? The thing
and
is,
a lot of people do
that. Hang on. The thing is, there's probably guys over there doing a lot worse than Barry's doing, or doing the same thing. But the difference is Barry's put himself out there.
Of course. That makes it easy to point to Barry, because now, of course, if you're going to be out there, you're going to get pointed at.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm sure eventually it'll catch up with him.
King, you're a reasonable guy. You have to understand that, of course, Barry is like the worst of America. If you look at Frank or Barry, or these guys that are like, as far as I'm concerned, now I'm just one person that I see Americans like they're just fucking up. They're doing the same thing in the Philippines that they are complaining about in America. Both Frank and Barry both are conservative Trump lovers, and I'm a Trump lover, no question. But they want safe borders, but they don't care themselves about being safe borders in another country. That's not right. And the other thing is, wait a minute. And the other thing is this.
Always full of contradictions. Everyone is, so that's nothing new.
Wait a minute. Really? Well,
Yeah,
why don't you tell me?
has some
Wait a minute.
contradictions.
So, what are your contradictions, King?
Oh, well, I'm probably not consciously aware of them, but I don't doubt that I have some. I
No,
berate.
but what things are so obvious that you are contradiction, that right or wrong, that you agree or disagree or approve or don't? So share with us all.
Yes, here's something,
Insult to
Don,
mummy.
that I guess King of Calves is new to our channels and
Sorry.
that. He hasn't seen what's been going on. Even me, I haven't. I'm just the tip of the iceberg too. But Barry's been around for a long time doing all this here.
Yes.
I've seen some
You
of
know-
his old videos and I've heard some of the stories. You know, that's why I said
So
I'm not defending
you
the
haven't
guy.
donated money
I wouldn't.
for a
No, I don't
trip
donate money to
that never
anyone.
happened.
Yeah, but come
You
on,
know-
like, where does the personal responsibility lay? If you're going to donate money to someone, that's on you if they lie to you. You know, like, my opinion is I don't donate money to anyone and I don't ask anyone for money. I fund everything myself.
Well, there you go. So, but I do donate.
But that's
money.
me. That's me. That's me. Now, if
get
you want
it.
to give your money to someone, as far as I'm concerned, that's up to you because that's your money. That's your business. And
Yeah.
I think
I get
that's how other people should treat it.
And the thing is, though, there's a difference between giving money to someone in a good cause or trying to help someone out. In Barry's case, what you have is a compulsive liar who will scam people for shit.
Yeah, but everyone knows that going in. Everyone knows there's
They
people
don't
out there
now.
who are
Well,
compulsive
No,
liars, which is
that's not
exactly
true.
why I don't. Which is exactly why I don't donate
New
money. to fucking
users
anyone.
don't.
Well, they're going to be educated, aren't they?
Okay, so King, let me ask you this. So, do
Can't protect
you
people from
say that
themselves.
is
You've got to
Barry a
allow
good
people to
guy or
make
is Barry
mistakes.
not a good guy?
I don't think he's a good guy, but I don't think he's the worst of the worst. I
So-
think
so-
a lot of you guys pile on to what you see as an easy target. You know, I wouldn't hang out
He's
with
an
the guy.
easy target. All
Well,
right.
he is an easy target. He's got no money. He's got nothing. He's a fucking bum.
But wait a minute. Him not having any money is not the issue. It's that the fact that he doesn't have any money and then he asks people for money and then he steals money and sells items and then pawn shops and I mean, there's so many things. It's just not being poor is not Barry's issue. Being poor and being a drunk that
It's not a
spends
crime to
every
ask. It's not a
dollar.
crime to ask for money.
Wait a minute. It's not a crime to ask for money, but it's a crime to do this, to be poor and ask for money to go get fucked up. That it's not. Listen, if Barry was in America, Barry would have a 1 gallon a gas can, asking people for $3 for gas at the Home Depot or the local gas station on a car he doesn't own. So this is, it's no different. I can call Barry
people
out.
have always existed.
Do what?
I don't understand your point though, because like beggars and scammers, it's not something new. These people have always been around. So,
well, I don't have an issue on that, but I have no problem. Listen, I have no problem calling them out, and you seem to have a problem if we call them out.
It's like bullshit. The rate at which you can call people's bullshit out is much less at the rate at which they can diss it out. So you're fighting an uphill battle that'll never end. You can't win.
No, I don't agree with that. I think there are few people on YouTube who ask for donations to buy a refrigerator that they will pawn in 60 days. So I think I have I can say, listen, this is a bullshit. Now, if you don't agree with that, if you go, listen, let them pawn a refrigerator every 60 days for the next 30 years. You and I will never agree with that.
It's been my experience in life today. There's some people, you can't protect them from themselves. And if they don't get scammed by one person, they're going to get scammed by the next person. And I'm not going to waste my time. So
you have no obligation to say, don't be scammed by this person.
From themselves.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying.
All right, hang on. Let me put this to you, King of Calves. If you know someone is deliberately scamming people, you wouldn't warn anybody about that person?
I would warn them once, and then if it persisted, and they kept getting scammed, I'd say, look, this person is their own, can't live their life for them. They're just going to have to learn the hard way. want to donate to Barry
So obviously
other
the
people,
road
then
on your street has one street sign that says 45 miles an hour and over 30 miles. It just has one sign. You don't need more than one, just one time. Let's let everybody know it's 45. If you go 60 and you get a ticket, if you go 70, you get a wreck and you die. If you go 20, it's too low. One sign's enough.
How you doing, Warren?
some people learn from the mistakes of others. That's the sort of person I try to be. Some people learn from their own mistakes, and then there's some people who never learn. And the people who never learn, you can't help them. You can't help them.
And so
you're going to get
your
scammed by Barry or the next
obligation, your obligation. You have no obligation. So your kids that I hear in the background, you have no obligation to say to them, there are people like Barry that will rip you off. You just go, learn on your own.
No, I mean, I'm talking about the general public. Obviously, I would teach my kids.
No, wait,
my kids never learned their lesson. My kids never learned their lesson, and they become adults and still don't learn their lesson. At what point do you say, look, there's nothing more I can do? You got to wash your hands off and let people live their lives. You know, like you can't protect people from themselves.
Thunder? I've done all I can do. I've tried to have a great conversation.
We've had a good conversation, and we can agree to disagree.
I think you're a smart guy, but I think you took a position that you had a hard time trying to figure out how to make it work. And because listen, you have kids. Of course you're having conversations with your kids about people that are not good, not great. It's obvious. Everybody does. So I just find it odd that you fight so hard to make Bama a good guy or a guy just an overstayer. No big deal.
He's a good guy.
Okay, just an overstayer. No big guy. No big deal.
Quite clear. I would never meet the guy. I wouldn't hang out with him. I wouldn't.
Wait a minute. Is an overstayer? Do you count an overstayer higher or lower than a thief?
Lower.
So someone who steals thousands of dollars from a country that has not enough money to help people that live in nipah huts is lower than a thief.
No, you're changing the goalposts.
No, I'm not changing the goalposts. I'm asking you, look in America. Listen, I'm telling you, in America, we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on overstayers.
Yes, that's right. But
America and I'm sure Australia does the same thing, and I'm sure in Europe we do the same thing, where people overstay and take advantage of the situation cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Philippines does not have money, so overstayers who are there who take advantage, and let's say overstay. I'm going to call them illegal aliens. Illegal aliens in the Philippines take a lot of resources from the country. Do you think that's okay or not? And if it's not okay, then why do you even say, oh, he's okay? Oh, who cares?
I didn't say no one cares. I said, what I'm saying is it's been reported. I think it should be left at that. Now, if you steal from some Filipino, that has an immediate local impact on someone. Okay, I think overstays in the Philippines are a vastly different type of person to overstays in America. I don't think Barry's there getting free healthcare and work and taking jobs from Filipinos, you know. And I would guess a lot of overstays.
Well, let's wait for the barbecue stand with no rice to open up. I get it.
Well, look, he's had all sorts of crackpot ideas. Who really?
Listen, I appreciate there's somebody on this group that wants to make Barry at least a good guy. Hey, I'm not going to be that guy.
What?
And I'm not going to do the same thing for Barry or Frank. There are certain individuals that don't get a pass. Barry and Frank don't get it.
The Philippines attracts a very strange type of person, and I would include myself in that.
Well,
Do you know,
I've been there, so I'm not one of these guys that are talking and never been there. I've been there and spent time and travel all over, met lots of people, but
hang
I'm
on,
going.
King
Go ahead, Thunder.
Carves. What you just said there is the whole point to this. When you said it attracts us, I don't think
does.
that's true. I don't. I think you
I
have
think
those
it's
kind
very
of people
true.
over there, and it's people like Barry and Frank that cause people to have that way of thinking. That's the whole
No,
point
I've
here.
met the people.
That's why a lot of these guys don't want people like that over there, because it gives everyone a bad name. And then,
I agree.
and you just said yourself that it attracts those kind of people. I mean, the fact that you made that statement is proof that guys like
Well,
Barry
it's sort
and
of like
Frank.
not the wild. Well, it is sort of like a wild west. It's sort of like the frontier. You know
But
what I mean? Like
wait a minute, King. Listen, you're a reasonable
that's what
guy.
I like about it.
You listen. You just said what everybody on this panel and everybody listening understood. You just said it. You have kids. We hear them in the background. You are a
I've got 3
reasonable
kids.
guy. I get it, but you're a reasonable guy that goes, this is right and this is wrong. It's not right that you allow or you just slough off people who are breaking the law. Now you can take a different opinion and go, well, let's leave it up to them or them. But
never said that.
ultimately, wait a minute.
I
But
just said I'm not a
wait a
Philippines
minute.
immigration officer. I'm not a Philippines police officer. It's not up to me to enforce the law. Okay, it's up to them.
Is it? Let me ask you this: if you saw someone that you knew that was an overstay, would you
That's
point them out?
different.
Let me ask you this: would you point them out or
Look,
not?
I wouldn't even know where to go and report it. So probably not. I'd probably
I'm just going
mind my own business.
It's no big deal. Let's just say that we know that Barry was an overstayer. I know we don't know because we haven't seen his passport. Let's assume
Exactly.
that.
So you don't know. You don't know.
I get it. I get it.
What if,
But let's just make an assumption.
Let's
I
just
get it.
let's just say you stole something. I never saw you
All right,
steal
wait a
it.
minute. Let's just say that we saw
I'm just going to say you're a thief.
Paul or
You're a
Fred, an overstayer. You knew
You're a
he's an
thief.
overstayer.
I've never seen you steal a thing in your life, but I'm pretty sure
Wait a
you're a
minute, it doesn't
thief.
matter. I'm going to ask you a question. Let's say you see Fred, the overstayer that you know because you know he never left the country. He never went to Singapore. He never went back to the U.S. He's been here. Now, if you see him, do you feel an obligation to point him out to the authorities, or just go, I don't want to get involved?
Too busy with my Filipino honeys to be going down to MBI to report people. I'll leave it up to you to report it.
No. Do you, wait a minute. If you see a theft, do you see a murder? Do you see somebody steal a jeepney? Do you feel the responsibility to report or to stay out of it?
Well, it depends on the circumstance. Sometimes other people report it. You know, like if you see an accident.
Well, how do you know? I'm asking you. Nobody else sees it but you. You're the only person who saw it. Do you report or not report?
If you see a car accident, do you always call 000, or is it sometimes it's apparent that 10 other people have already called?
I'm asking you, are you the kind of guy that looks at a situation and says, I will report it or stay out of it? You're the only person. You saw something happen. You saw a theft. You saw a murder. You saw an overstayer. You saw a car wreck. You're the guy who saw it. Do you stick around and say, I'm going to put myself out there and say, this is what happened? Or are you the kind of guy that slinks in the background and goes, I'm not going to report it? Who are you?
Look, as a general rule, I mind my own business.
To be fair to King of Calves,
and these are different
there's
things.
a slightly
Murder's very different.
There's a different mentality in Australia. There's a different mentality in Australia. For some of the minor things, yeah, most Aussies are just going to it's not going to worry them. They're not going to do anything about it. So I can understand where King Calves comes from when he says it depends on what they've done and what he's seen and what he knows, I guess. But the big problem here is he hasn't been around long enough to see everything.
Yeah, but I've heard a lot of the podcasts. I've even heard you on Real Deals. I was going to ask you, what happened with you two? Because, I mean, he strikes me as a top Aussie bloke, Real Deal, and you on one of his live streams before. I don't mind you too, Thunder. So
what happened, mate, was that I'm friends with people he doesn't like. So I'm now.
Yeah, but see, I've heard this, but I've never actually heard him actually say. As far as I'm concerned, he lets just about anyone on his
Well,
live
the
stream,
last
probably to a fault.
one of the last times I was on his live stream, mate, one of his mods just kept timing me out all the time. So
Yeah, but that happens on a lot of
Yep.
live streams. That's not doing it. That happened to me
So-
on his live stream, but I don't blame him for it. So
Thunder,
No, he's
I want
he's got
to
to be
say
in his bonnet.
to King, listen, I'm passionate, and I understand that you're the same way. I have no ill will against you. I think you're a smart, intelligent guy. My feelings was just to really get a good conversation going. I think that I understand exactly where you're coming from. I want to give you no ill will, and if we come up against each other
I have
in the
no
future,
ill will towards you either. I
no,
don't have
I'm the
ill
same
will
way.
towards
I go,
you.
listen, I
So
love
the only
a
person
great
I don't like
conversation.
in space, the only person I don't like is JLB. That's it.
No, dude,
He's the
listen.
only person I don't like is
Listen,
that guy.
I like having a good conversation. I don't have to agree with you. I can find a
Likewise.
different opinion, and we can disagree. But ultimately, I respect your opinion, and you know, and maybe one day I'll change my mind, or you'll change yours, and we'll get more to the center. But I think we're closer to the middle than we both think.
Oh, you know what I think it is?
Yeah, look, probably,
To be honest,
as
King,
I said before,
some guys have got more invested in the Philippines, and I think for those guys who've got a little bit more invested, it probably cuts a little bit deeper with all this shit.
No, like I said before, I think what it is, a lot of guys are up to, they're not breaking the law, but they might be up to no good, and they like to point out other people's misdeeds so that no one focuses on their own. And, you know, myself included, I've got 3 kids here. I'm not going over there to do civil works, I'll tell you that much. So, you know, although I'm single, so I'm not exactly doing the wrong thing. But I think that's a big part of what it is, and I think a big part of it's jealousy as well. Because some guys are going over there and having quite a bit of success and having a fun time, and other guys go over there and struggle.
Here's the difference between you, though. One is you pay all your fees, so you pay your way over there. You don't you might go over there and going over there for the women or whatever, but you don't disrespect the locals for that.
Sorry, I missed what you said. My daughter's eating dirt. Don't do that.
I said the difference is one is you pay your way, so you're not you're giving back to the country by paying your visa fees or whatever. But I think the most important thing is that you would be, from what I've seen, someone who will respect the locals. I think that a lot of it
anywhere
comes
I go,
down to.
I obey the law. Okay, I would like to stay longer, but I bothered to renew my visa. So I've left. Some guys, if they choose to stay a bit longer, that, as far as I'm concerned, that's between them and MBI. And from what I've heard, sometimes the local office let them get away with it for a bit. Okay, but that's between them. It's got nothing to do with me. Personally, I would go and renew early and keep it all above, all above board. Some guys right over there without a motorbike license, I will do that. But I leave that between them and the local authorities. It's not for me to police. And I don't think it's anyone else to police.
I think you agree, but the guys aren't trying to police anything. All they're
No,
saying is they're putting it out there.
They're trying. Some of them are almost to the point where they're trying to make it as if they're the Philippines authority. That Barry has to prove to them that he's got a passport stamp. I'd be worried about they're borderline impersonating Philippines authorities. I think that's more concerning.
King, listen, I would give Barry, lots of money, a lot of money to show us. He's never going to do that. He begs for dollars. He begs for dollars to buy cigarettes. I would pay him lots of dollars to see it, and he's never going to show up because he's an overstayer. It's no big deal. Everybody understands that.
See if you're willing to pay him to prove something that you're way too invested in Barry's life, man.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to prove it, but he gets money if he shows it. Now, if he doesn't want to do it, but I love the fact that yesterday he put out a video that he's traveling to Dumaguete, to Cebu, and Manila. He's going out. He wants to go to someplace to buy steaks, but he needs money from people for his new apartment. Now, he's had about 10 new apartments in the last 2 years, and he needed refrigerators. He needs he's constantly needing funds to supply a refrigerator, a hot plate, and ultimately they get they go to the local pawn shop and off they go. Now, if you don't see anything with that, you go, oh, it's no big deal. Barry's a good guy.
It's not that I don't see anything wrong with it. It's that if people want to donate to his cause, like for a lot of people too, you know.
Then allow. Listen, I get it.
There's a lot of people
can donate, but allow people to also say he's scamming them. You should feel the same way. You should be in the middle and go, okay, people can say they either donate or don't donate. But if you don't donate, then allow us to call Barry out to be a scammer.
I think some people donate because they like the entertainment factor. they want Barry to keep the entertainment going, and it's as long as the money's coming out of their pocket and not mine. I don't care if they give you money.
I get it. You throw $5 or 5 peanuts to a monkey, he's going to be excited. I get the whole concept of making them jump through hoops. That makes sense.
That does happen, Don. There are guys out there who love to see the train wreck bullshit, and
there you go.
So usually you got a couple of sides, and then you have those sometimes in the middle who want to keep it going between both sides. Oh, we just lost Don, did we?
I don't trust people who worry about how other people spend their money and what they do with it. Like I've never understood the sort of guy who worries about how someone else is spending their money and who they're giving it to or what they're.
I think
it doesn't make sense.
King of Cars, I think it goes a little bit deeper than that.
It's not your money.
No, I agree. But it goes a little bit deeper than that, and some people have a vested interest in that country. Hey, Steve, how you doing? I don't have a problem with your point of view, and it's good to play devil's advocate. And but I understand why some guys who travel to those countries on a regular basis, or who have homes there, or living there permanently as an expat, why they would have issues with a guy like that.
Well,
good on you, Simo.
Wasting the energy on it, but I don't understand how some of you have been so obsessed. For what to me seems like quite a number of years now.
Do you know? Well, I haven't been around all that long, but
used to do in the Philippines, worry about Barry.
We don't talk about him all that much on here, mate. To be honest with you, he's kind of old news at the moment.
Well, you were talking about him when I dropped into the live stream today. That's why I hopped on.
That's fine. That's fine, mate. But and I agree with what you said. Some guys like to see the train wreck and they want to see it continue. Some people got nothing better to do. Don's not one of those people. Don's a pretty well-rounded, feet both firmly planted on the ground, and I respect what Don says.
And I respect you, Thunder.
How you doing, Popeye?
Hey guys, let me give you my take on all this stuff. Right?
So this is another guy who hasn't been there for 30 years, thinks he's some fucking authority on it.
Well, hang on. Let him have a say, but don't. If you want to
I can't handle
debate what if you want to debate what he says, that's fine. Don't attack the guy. You're gonna
because I think he's one of the. I think he is one of the few who's worthy of being attacked. In all honesty, from what I've heard of live streams.
Let's hear his take on it then. Popeye, go for it, mate.
I have given Barry a wide berth, okay? And the way I see it, and I've seen him in his latest vlog, he doesn't look good. And the guy has always been on a path to self-destructiveness. So let him go. Forget about him.
Yeah, but Popeye, who the fuck are you to give him a wide berth or not? You're not some authority. You're some fucking sad, lonely old baby boom who hasn't been there for 30 years.
No, look,
Like,
don't attack the person.
nah,
Attack
Thunder,
what they
who
say.
the fuck is he to say, oh, I've given him a wide berth? You're a fucking no one to give him anything. You haven't been there in forever. You know, you have no authority to be giving him any of this supposed wide berth to begin with.
I have plenty of authority when he comes up on YouTube, puts all this shit out on public. I don't have to be there right now.
Names and addresses being given in. That's what Popeye's talking about.
So if you want to attack me, that's fine. Go right ahead. I give two shits. I don't know you from a hole in the wall.
Yeah, I hate these guys who think they speak with some authority. Oh, I gave Barry a wide berth.
I did.
Like,
he asked for it. We had a conversation.
Whatever.
Stop.
We
Me
had-
and him had a conversation right here on this show. We call the truth.
Yeah, but
So you can fuck off.
you blow smoke up your own ass when you talk like that, as if you speak with some
Hang on.
fucking authority, you know?
Hang
Like,
on. King of Carbs, hang on. We had a show where Barry was on, Popeye was on. They had sorted out their shit, and they both agreed to not talk about it, and both said that they would give each other a wide berth. So all Popeye is doing is just
I'm honoring
again
you.
letting everyone know that,
The guy.
letting him know the agreement that he made with Barry personally.
That
Well,
must
but my
hurt
point-
that must hurt your feelings, right, Ken? Because you like to hate to
No.
continue, right?
I'm
You
just
like
saying there's people who've been there recently, and then there's people who haven't been there for 30 years and reminisce
coming up here insulting,
in old baby boomer
giving me
style.
shit, fucking with me, right? You just want the hate continue, right?
I think
That's
you're a
what
lonely
we're
old
all about,
baby boomer.
motherfucker.
Like,
Right?
nothing better to fucking do in
You
your
wanna
retirement.
fucking go, bro?
Reminisce
Go.
about being in the fucking Navy, scrubbing down the decks
You
and
don't
coming
like
each other's
it,
ass or whatever
shit,
you
don't
did on the boat.
Turn the fucking knob to the off
Hey,
position.
I was on here before you, and usually when you do come off, I fucking do turn off, mate. So there's no problem there.
Well, then, goodbye, then.
You know, this is the problem we have, King of Carbs, and I'm kind of surprised. You know, as an Australian, you
Nah,
know
Thunder,
that saying.
look, a lot of
Hang
people
on,
have an issue with him.
hang on.
He hasn't
Let
fucking
me
been
finish,
there
mate.
forever.
Let me finish. We have
And he
that
thinks
saying:
he's-
attack the ball, not the man. You know, so attack what he says, but don't attack him personally because it doesn't do anyone any good.
Well, I did attack what he said. I said, who the fuck is he to say he gave someone a wide berth?
But then you
Like,
started
I
attacking
was
him
there.
And I
personally.
explained it to you, and you didn't comprehend it. Not my problem.
Yeah, but you understand, Popeye, you're not in any
level
position
is that
to be given
fucking
fucking
low.
anyone.
You
You're
need
not
to
in any
go away.
position to be giving anyone a wide berth, no matter how many asses
Who
you're
are
coming
you to
down on
tell
the
me
fucking
what
deck
I
of
can
whatever
or
boat you're
cannot
on.
do?
So,
Who are you to
You know,
tell
like,
me what I can or cannot do?
if you'd been there, look, if
Who
you'd
the
been there in the
fuck are
past
you?
18 months,
Who the fuck are you?
Been there
Who
for what,
gave
30
you the
fucking-
authority to set down rules and regulations?
no, listen to some
fuck are
fucking
you?
old grandpa talk about what he did in the
There you go.
fucking
Now
years.
you're fucking flinging age discrimination. That's all you got is
Age
fucking hate,
discrimination.
dude. And you guys have
I think you're a lone
call us
man.
the hate club.
Yeah,
You got
but
the balls.
I think you're alone. Go to the Philippines or something and get it out of your system instead of sitting around talking about what was.
You're
30,
not
40
talking
fuck
about anything but hate, dude.
hate.
That's it.
Hate.
You've already got your
hate
mind
speech.
made
It's hate
up.
speech now, is it? It's hate speech.
You
I
already
tell you what,
got
thank
your
God.
mind made up.
I thank God we've only got to deal with you baby boomers maybe another 20 years tops.
So I'll take when everybody is like silent for a second and say, hello, Popeye.
Hello. How are you
How
doing?
you doing?
Yeah, I think we lose sight of the fact here that we seem to all be attacking each other over a person who's not worth really fighting over. And you know, if you want to have an opinion, that's all well and good. But attack what they say. Don't
Thunder,
go
that's
personal.
what I did. I did attack what he said. He's not
No,
in
no,
any position
calling him a
saying,
baby boomer and
well,
all
he's
this
a
other
baby
shit.
boomer. So like fucking.
Oh, what are
It's
you?
not exactly a lie, is it? It's not a lie, is it?
What are you, a fucking millennial?
But it's
You're
the
an
context that
airman, right?
it's the
Play
it
with
was
a
the context. It's
you
the context
fucking
of this.
baseball
Instead, you
day.
said
Is
it was
that what you are? You're just a young punk who hasn't even
Young
lived
punk,
yet.
mate. I've got fucking. I've
That's
three
it. You're a
kids.
fucking
You calling me a young
sunshine. Okay,
punk?
I get it.
You're a fucking
Understand?
punk. This is how we did it in the Navy back in 1960. No one gives a fuck.
Nobody asked you to listen, asshole.
Back in fucking 1960, I was in
I
Philippines.
wasn't
This
in
is
the
how we
Navy
did it
in
then. So my opinion's
I
valid
was
today,
actually born in
2019.
1960.
So wait a minute. I was in the Philippines 2 months ago. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about now.
All right,
hang on,
let's go.
hang on. Whoa. King of Calves.
Huh?
Hang on. King of Calves, aren't you doing to Popeye now what you're accusing everyone else of
No, I
doing to
think
Barry?
a lot of people have. I think a lot of people have
Blowing the kettle fucking
legitimate grievances against this guy.
But you're doing now to Popeye what
Because I've
you're
heard
complaining
the
about
guy.
everyone
I've heard
doing.
the guy.
Hang
I tell you
on.
what, Popeye's worse
Hang
than
on, we've
fucking
all heard
Barry by a long shot.
We've all heard Barry too, but you're now doing to Popeye what you're complaining about people doing to Barry.
Because I've heard Popeye, and I know he's not the sort of guy you can have a reasonable, intelligent conversation with. Like the previous guy I was talking to, we had a reasonable. We disagreed, but we had a reasonable disagreement, and I have no ill will towards the guy. He can hold his position, but it's just an out and out.
Hey, King, this is Don. Listen, you and I have had this conversation. We have not bought Popeye an Xbox, a set of false teeth, a refrigerator, a laptop, a ticket home. I mean, we have not bought him those things because he asked, because he needed these things, and then he ended up losing them, pawning them, selling them. So that's not fair. I mean, they're different people, and I get your passion, and I appreciate that. But Popeye and Barry are different.
Yeah, I agree. They're different. Very different.
Well, but listen, as I just said,
I'm not defending. You can't as I'm defending Barry. I told you I wouldn't. I don't think I'd even have a drink with him. I wouldn't want to meet him anyway.
Listen, you have kids. I know you're not going to defend Barry. You're an intelligent man. You're not going to try to defend Barry. At the same time, we have not had the obligation or felt obligated to buy Popeye, plane tickets and teeth and Xboxes and refrigerators, and I could just go on and on. I mean, because Barry has asked and asked and asked and asked and asked for all these things, which ultimately are pawned because they're gone because he's traveling and has nothing. Now it's a different person, different personality.
Look, I'm a big proponent of personal responsibility. Okay, if you fuck up,
perfect,
it's on you.
I love that. I think it's great.
You can't cheat an honest man. Okay.
Then quite frankly, I don't know you, but all of a sudden I know you're not 22
if he does
years
something
old.
else with the money, once they've given him the money, that's his prerogative. Hopefully they learn from it, but some people never learn. So you just gotta let them.
Okay, perfect. I get it. And now that I know that you're a reasonable person, I think that you are lashing out at people that you don't really understand the whole situation.
Here comes Popeye again with advice from 1960 about the Philippines and like.
No, come on,
that's not. Come on, dude. Really?
You're attacking the guy. King of Calves, all you're doing is attacking the guy. You're not attacking anything he's saying.
Hey, King, I think I'm older than Popeye. I'm 60.
Oh, you got me by.
You don't sound 60.
Got me.
There you go. And listen, King, I took a year off from my company and traveled in Thailand, in Cambodia, and Philippines, and Vietnam. I took a year and traveled everywhere. And I got involved with a lot of this. And I've seen a lot of expats that, quite frankly, I'm embarrassed being an American. And on the other side, I saw some Americans in different countries really making a difference. So I'm embarrassed when I find Americans in different countries that are taking resources from a country that hardly can even take care of their own people. Now, the flip side, I saw way more positive things than negative things. but there are a few people who, quite frankly, are negative, and they pop up because they make themselves known. They shout their name out. They promote their cause. So I feel obligated to call them out. Now, I also call out the people who make a difference in the positive way, and bring great resources, great money, and help solve a lot of issues in Asia. I had a fantastic year. So I'm torn between both things. Now, this one causes me more angst because I have to take people like you, who are a reasonable guy, who seem to be like this good guy, and we argue about certain people, whether they're good or bad. I'm just telling you, I could put a lot more energy into people in people who are bringing more positive than negative into that world.
We're not debating whether he's a good or bad guy. It's regarding the law. Like I've already said, I wouldn't hang out with him. I wouldn't have a drink with him. I wouldn't be friends with him. I like Real Deal. One of his channel. He's one of my real channels, all right. And he's pretty buddy with Barry. Now, personally, I wouldn't, but I don't say to Real Deal, "Oh, you can't be friends with him. You shouldn't." Like that's his business, man. Like he's a fucking adult. You make your own choices.
I
bear
get
responsibility.
There's some. So I'm going to call you a little bit on that. I think that we listen. You have friends in your life. If you're old enough, I'm 60. I am in my life. I have had certain people in my life that are not that great of people. They're fuck ups. Now, eventually, I just pull away from them because I go, it's too much energy to have to constantly make amends, or to make them feel better, or to compensate for their issues. I think that eventually, at a certain age, and maybe you're not there yet, you will find that negative energy and people that are negative, you go, it's not that they're just let them go. You just go, fuck, I don't want them in my life. I don't want to talk about them. So I don't know. I give you a pass on that. I think I'm way older than you, and it's my 2 cents.
I think you got a very narrow view on life, King. You're going to work with people.
I think it's actually the reverse. I've got a very broad view on life. I think it's you guys who have the very narrow view, in all honesty. There's all different types of people, and you can't change who they are.
What's it like to know everything?
Someone like Barry, I'll tell you what, it's a great strain. Being completely surrounded by idiots.
King, you need to write a book because you know everything.
You wouldn't grasp the knowledge that I laid out anyway. So what would be the point of writing it?
Well, I
just want to address one comment in the chat saying anti-gun. This Baybot's Taco Bell Vandever. I bet King comes anti. No, I'm pro-gun ownership, mate. I think I should have the right to have a tank in my fucking backyard. So you got that wrong, mate.
But listen, the book I would have wrote at 25 would have been 30 chapters. The book I would write at 60 would be 1 chapter. I got less smart the older I got.
Yeah, I realize that. The older you realize, the more you actually.
Well, of course, because I've met Barry. Listen, I've met Barry 20 times in my life with a different name.
Yeah,
of course. I mean, I recognize them.
They're dead or they're in jail. So
but it's not that. You recognize that persona multiple times as you get older, and so to me, there's 2 things. So Barry, and I'm going to make this comment tonight, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but I'm going to say 2 things. So Barry is just fun to fuck with because he's such an ass, and he's kind of this like crazy uncle that everybody laughs at and just says weird shit. Now, that's Barry. Now, there's another guy that is more complicated, and the red hair stepchild is one of these guys that is scary. And so if I have to put any time or effort into one of the two of them, one of them's going to get a lot more effort than the other. And I'm not going to go into too much detail other than Barry's fun to laugh at because thoroughly is one of the funniest things I've ever seen, the way he spells that and the way he gets his people,
So really, that's what it's really about, is having a joke at Barry's
well,
expense.
of course, because Barry,
that's not really about him being an overstayer.
Well, I mean,
more
listen, Barry is funny because he's just an idiot. But there's another person who, quite frankly, and I'm gonna spell it out tonight, who is more scary because he's actually dangerous. Now, for me, that's a different deal, and I put a lot more emphasis on that. I'm not going to put a lot of time and effort in that.
The people that you need to worry about are the people who aren't on YouTube, the people that no one knows about.
No, there are some on YouTube that are dangerous, that are kind of crazy, and but you know, those are easier when you understand who they are. It's easier to figure out how to solve that issue.
Don't be a prick tease and say, "Oh, this," and describe the person and then not name them. Like, what's their YouTube channel?
Well, no, everybody here probably, everybody, quite frankly, everybody here.
I don't know.
Well, I'm looking at Thunder and Popeye. You know, these. Listen, in this genre, there's only a couple of people who take all the fire. Barry takes a lot. There's only one more other person who takes all the fire, who's more complicated than Barry, and quite frankly, is probably more dangerous. So that's my thoughts. Well, without saying who it is,
that guy's Frank's boring. I watched some of his videos,
but he's also could be dangerous. So you know, I think Barry's not dangerous; he's just a dick. But Frank could be dangerous. So that's my opinion.
People.
Dangerous to who? Foreigners or Filipinos or?
Well, I think so. I you know, Barry with $500 a month is only dangerous to whoever's going to buy him a phone or buy him a refrigerator or set him up for the night. I mean, he's not going to be someone who can really influence a lot of people, and they're not going to fall in step and join the Barry Club. Now, Frank is different.
Hey, can I just interrupt you? Hey, Thunder, every time I've tuned into this channel over the past few months, you're either talking about World of Warships or Barry.
Well,
one of the two.
Hang on.
You've only been here
now you're full of shit. You're full of shit now because we've only been talking about World of Warships for the last few weeks. And to be honest with you, you can ask the guys in the chat. Barry hasn't been a subject on here for quite a while.
We were doing film almost trivia a week ago.
The entire live stream, but he usually comes up
talking about guitars.
I agree. I think that was. I mean,
I tune in and out because it depends what I'm doing, you know. So I don't listen to the whole thing. But hey, I enjoy the live streams. I wouldn't listen otherwise, you know. So
to be honest, most of the times when it has popped up, guys like Popeye have turned around and said, look, I don't want to even get into it. He's done with all that shit. And most of us are the same.
Yeah, but you still talk about it. Like I tuned in today and that's what you were talking about. That's the first thing I heard tuning in. That's why I jumped on.
I think you got a really offensive nature.
Me?
Yeah.
Offensive?
You're very defensive and you're very offensive.
Well, it started off he was playing devil's advocate, and that's all well and fine to do.
No, it's fine. I love it.
But what I didn't like is when you start getting personal with the guys on the panel here. Attack what they say, but don't attack.
I don't think Popeye's in any position to say he gave someone a wide berth, as in to say as if he has.
Well, hang on, but that was an agreement between the two of them. That was an agreement between Popeye and Barry. That was public, mate. It was.
But I've heard this Popeye guy go on about it and fucking on about it long after whatever agreements come up, you know. So I just like I said earlier, I think a lot of you guys who go to the Philippines use Barry as a means to hide your own misdeeds. You point out his so no one looks at your own.
Oh, I think that's wrong. I think that's very wrong.
That's big time.
And King, I've been on the panel now for about 20 minutes. You've led the discussion.
The only
with
person
Barry.
I really don't like is in hate is fucking JLD. Problem with no one else.
But hang on, don't change the subject. I've been on the panel for about 20 minutes now, and you've been the one that's been leading the conversation about
Hang on,
Barry.
you're breaking up. Is it me or you?
You've been the one that's leading the conversation about Barry, not Popeye, not Don, not Thunder, not Nathan especially.
Yeah, but
You.
listen, this is the first time I've been on here to actually talk about it. So, and I only did that because when I tuned in, that's what they were talking about.
What we normally do is if someone brings it up, we have a 10-second joke about it. We move on to the subject we were talking about.
Well, it hasn't been
That's
my
the truth.
experience. But anyway, it's besides the point, isn't it?
You've invested how many minutes talking about Barry
I don't
and
know, an hour?
your theory on Barry?
An
Because
hour? An
everything
hour?
that's on the
You guys are invested, what, 2-3 years?
Okay, hang on. I haven't been on here that long, King of Cars, and the bottom line is, and everyone knows that here, is that if someone brings up something, I don't usually stifle the conversation.
No, and I
You know,
appreciate that. Thunder, I appreciate you letting me have my say.
Well, I'd be two-faced if I didn't let everyone have their say,
And that's
and
what
I
I
don't
like
have
about
to,
you, and that's why I listen.
and I don't have to agree with everyone, but I appreciate everyone's opinion, and we can all agree to disagree at times.
Oh, of course.
But
It wouldn't be
like
any
I
fun
said,
otherwise.
yeah, but some guys have a vested interest in the way some people act overseas, especially if they're their own countrymen. I mean, if I was somewhere and I seen an Aussie being a total fucking dick and making an idiot of himself, I probably would step in. I wouldn't be able to help myself, probably.
Hey, you'd be overwhelmed in Bali.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, actually, I was
Bali's
going
not
to
one
say
place
that.
I
Well, I was
would
just
go.
about to say, what about Bali?
I would never go there.
Right.
Bali's not on my list of places to visit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me neither.
Too many Australians.
Exactly.
Listen,
Too
I'm
many ugly
going to speak
Australians.
up for. I'm going to speak up for Rike. So if you go to Vietnam, Rike and I are holding down the fort in Vietnam. Don't fuck up in Vietnam. I'm just saying that right now.
Well, I might head there next.
I've known.
It'll be all right. I obey the laws.
I've known people to go over to Vietnam, friends of mine, and they've loved it.
I loved it. I thought Vietnam was great. Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. My friend actually went over there, met the girl that he's married to now, got a couple of kids. He put her back through school over here, and she now runs a travel agency here in Adelaide. But lovely young lady.
Yeah. I thought of the 4 countries I went to, I thought Thailand, I spent a lot of time in Thailand, was great. I thought Vietnam was a very, very close second because infrastructure is great, internet's great. I think as a foreigner, I could get around anywhere and talk English, and people understood me. The food was fantastic. So, yeah, I thought Vietnam was worth.
I thought Rike
place
said
to
the
go visit.
opposite, that not many of them know English.
Well, that's what I heard too, actually,
I
Don.
was in Hanoi, and so I went to Hanoi, and I went to Ho Chi Minh, and I went to Hoi Hin, and I went up to Hulan Bay. So the places I went were obviously big cities. So if like a lot of places, if I was in the big city, I met people that spoke English. If I got a little bit off into the country, I had to pull out my Google app to help me understand what they were saying, of course.
Yeah, well, even in Bali, it's the same. You go across the other side of the island, and you'll have big problems with English.
Yeah, I think that's kind of norm. I mean, but I was always, I was always fascinated that I could be like in the middle of a rice paddy in the Philippines or in Vietnam, or like I'm talking about in the middle of nowhere in Cambodia, and my Google app would not only know where I was, but I could use the translator app and understand what they were saying. So if you don't just go out and just experience the world you're wasting time. I spent a good year traveling everywhere, and I completely loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I've only heard good things about Vietnam, but I have to agree with King of Calves here. Even from my friend with the girl he married, he had to pay for her to have English lessons. It was, and I hear a lot that English isn't spoken a lot over there, maybe less than even Thailand.
Well, I'm just going by what Rike said. He was not complaining about lack of English. He just said it was a problem the further out.
So I met Rike in Hanoi, and so Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon, those two big cities. I never had to pull my app out. I would disagree with them. I went, listen, if you meet anybody in those two cities, you're going to meet people that can speak English. Now, it's halting English. It's not, it's not going to be perfect English. It's better than Bama, but that's just I'm throwing a little joke out there. But it's not going to be perfect English. But I got around, no problem.
Did you ever see the video that JLB made over in Vietnam when that woman took his money and took off real quick?
Yeah,
and ripped him off?
I did. But you know what? It's funny when you have a 50,000 note and it's worth $2. So the problem is if they steal 50,000, you're out a couple of dollars. And you go. When I was there, it was like 26,500 per dollar. So a 50,000 note is $1.80. So if they give you the wrong change, how much are they ripping you off? You're trying to chase someone down for 12 cents or something. I went, shit, I got no patience for that.
JLB, I'm sure he made like an 8-hour fucking stream about it.
Mate, he pulled out the money. She just took 100,000 note and took off.
Yeah, but 100,000 note is $3.80. I mean, so if somebody overcharged you by 20 or 30, I mean, I'm only going to chase someone so far for something under $3.80. I mean, if I can't catch you in the first 2 feet, fuck it, you're free. Good luck to you.
Can I just reply to this comment that Lump said? What I don't like about JLB. JLB is he's a liar. He's a fake sort of person, and he'll pump you for information that he can use against you later. And he goes around accusing people of being pedophiles and other baseless stuff like that.
That's one.
So you want to be careful of that guy.
It's not unique to
he calls Kevin a 600-pound drug freak.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Any guy that goes around calling people pedophiles, like just baseless accusations. Everyone else is a sex pat to him. He's been to Manila like 30 times. He goes to fucking Burgos Street, whatever it is.
I'm going to say what everybody's thinking.
Wary of that guy.
If Big Kev doesn't look like the biggest golden retriever you've ever seen, I mean, who does? I give Big Kev money just because he's like the biggest golden retriever that you just want to hug any goddamn day I see him.
Yeah, but I have to agree with King of Calves. This making accusations about people being pedophiles, that's fucking out of bounds.
He's done many
stupid shit.
Mate, on one of his blogs, way back that I read, right, he accused, Kate Sobrano of being a man.
He's a fruit. And I've heard him too telling Filipinos on his live streams not to get vaccinations and things like that.
Listen,
they've got outbreaks of polio there now.
All reasonable people. And listen, I'm working with a woman who's got polio, and it's shocking to me that in the Philippines people still get polio. But put that away. I would just say this: I think most reasonable people on this channel and many other channels, the extremes, right or left, we can discount that as being idiots. And like for King of Calves, you and I can have great discussions, disagree, and come away going, I respect your opinions. I don't agree with you, but we're always going to find those people on the peripheral that are just strange and weird and say all this crazy shit. And I don't give it. I just don't give it any thought or any. I just discount it.
I heard him telling. He has a lot of Filipinos on his show because I think the difference of culture, it's hard for them to discern who's a good and who's a bad guy. And I've heard him on there telling them not to get measles vaccinations. You know, and if you've been over there, you see on the news that they have pockets of measles outbreaks and kids die and stuff. And for him to be telling them, like, they're already wary of vaccinations because they did have an issue with the dengue vaccination.
Yeah,
and it put
I
them
agree.
off them. But generally speaking, vaccinations are fine. I think some people do have minor side effects, but generally speaking, they're safer than not having them. So for him to go around telling them not to have vaccinations is fucking stupid.
But King,
I definitely agree with that one. The vaccinations is the big issue here in Australia.
You haven't.
But what people don't realise is, you know, you might get 1 or 2 in 50,000 kids or 100,000 kids get sick. But at the end of the day, if you can wipe out something completely, then it's got to be worth that risk, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, I agree.
And you owe humanity around you. You owe the people around you to have your kids vaccinated so they don't get. This is a big controversy in the U.S. So Bill Gates has thrown billions with a B dollars at eradicating like malaria and polio and stuff in Africa, and he's down to just like 65 cases, 185 cases a year. But trying to get rid of it is there's certain diseases that we've actually gotten rid of all over the whole world, but some are more complicated because you have warlords, you have wars going on, and you can't figure out how to get people in there to actually get everybody inoculated. And but it's down to just a small number. You owe not just your kids, you owe your neighbors' kids to get this done. So we all owe this to each other's kids to do these things.
I think Don is some of those places what you're just talking about now. They can't get people in there because it's just unsafe for them to be there.
Yeah, exactly right. Where they were killed. He had like 6 different workers that were giving vaccinations that were killed in these small pockets of warlords that were killing the Gates Foundation people. Yeah, it was terrible.
Well, you know what the one major problem they have with handing out vaccination in third world countries? That a lot of these kids are born in slums. They don't have birth certificates. And when they come around and they start giving out vaccinations, they do not know the exact age of the child. And for every vaccination, there is a certain age it has to be given at. Okay? If it's given beforehand, it can do harm. Right? And this is a problem that goes on in Philippines, Vietnam, and quite a few other third world countries. And that's where you get a lot of this crap that vaccinations are bad. Okay? There's a certain point in time they have to be given. And if you give it beforehand, it can do more damage than good.
I wouldn't disagree with that. The other thing is, Popeyes,
the schedule
it is hard. It is hard to get medical help into some of these countries, though, because it's just dangerous.
It is.
But also, guys, statistics are one of the funny things. So I work in sales for software companies, and so statistics we use all the time. And so what you can find is that you find that if you drink every day until you're 80, that's not a big deal. But if you put your right foot in your clothes, your jeans in the morning, you're more likely to die at 72 than you put your left foot in. So you can look at statistics and the way that humans live and come up with all kinds of different things that seem to make sense, but ultimately when you pull back, don't make any sense. And you just have to like allow that. There's a certain amount of unknown in a lot of this.
Yeah. Oh,
But
well,
yeah, that's why I don't like JLB, because he spreads bullshit and he's got a bit of an audience there, and he can actually do real fucking harm.
Yeah, I
to
agree.
any Filipinos that hear that advice coming from him, because I'll see him if he's 20,000 subscribers or whatever, and think because he's from the West, that he knows what he's talking about when he does.
so let me ask you a valid question there, King of Clay.
Carbs.
You don't like JLB. Fair enough. Okay, fair enough.
I hate JLB.
Okay, but what can be done about it?
Well,
Right. You have a reaction. What's your action going to be?
I think he should be banned from YouTube for some of the things he says, but
I'm asking, what
I don't have.
action?
What can I do? There's nothing I can do.
Mate, he's only a mild.
You have a forum right now. You can disagree, like you're doing, and saying you're bringing up his name and going, you disagree with him, and that's good because people are listening. That will hear your opinion and go, okay, well, maybe his opinion is better than JLB's.
He's only a mild case of fuckwit. JLB. We've seen much bigger fuckwits than him. Man, oh man. What about that fucking Pico Pete or whatever he is? Fucking.
Oh, that guy, yeah. The guy that's got a flat Earth channel, mate, and he came up with that. He said Marilyn Monroe was a man who had a sex change. Bruce Lee was a woman who had a sex change.
And see, if you believe those things, you know what I mean? If you believe those things, you're an idiot, but there's no. If you go around accusing people of being pedophiles and telling people not to have vaccinations, and like that can actually cause harm.
I agree with you. There's no argument there. And some accusations shouldn't be made. They're just, and
they're completely baseless accusations too. You know.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this: do you believe in freedom of speech?
Yeah, I wouldn't be voicing my opinion if I didn't.
And you're from Australia, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What are the rules and regulations in Australia about freedom of speech?
Well, I don't think we technically have it. I think you're.
Just paraphrase what you know.
As far as I know, you're not allowed to incite violence, discriminate on the basis of religion or race or sexual orientation.
You believe
at least in public life.
Do you believe your freedom of speech is curtailed in Australia in any way?
Yeah, but not to an extent that
Listen, here in America, I think mine have, because quite frankly, I've got a lot of goddamn great jokes I can't tell anymore.
Yeah, I would say we have more freedom of speech in Australia, even though we lack the laws, than America.
I'm not looking to trap you or anything. I just want your opinion.
Well, I think Americans have less freedom of speech now.
I disagree. I'll tell you why I disagree with that, King Carlos. The last time I was in the US, and it's gone back quite a few years ago now, but the Ku Klux Klan had a march down the streets with police protection and all the rest of it. Here, you wouldn't even be allowed to do that.
That's true. We allow them to actually, put on and do a march. We had it right now. We had it about 2 weeks ago in Portland. We had in South Carolina. So this is America is very much it's complicated. It's about giving both sides. Now it doesn't always work out that way, but we promote that.
The KKK isn't even really a thing anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh, it is.
A lot of American companies, Google, Twitter, Facebook, curtail free speech online on their platforms.
They do.
I know people will say, "Oh, they're private companies," but those places are essentially the public space now, where people voice their opinions.
Here's another good question for you, Ken. if you were caught in public burning the Australian flag, what would happen to you?
Nothing here. There's
Sorry?
no law. There's no law to
There's
stop
no
you
law
from.
against it, but if
No
you
law
wanted to,
against Okay.
if that's
No,
if you
but
wanted to,
we're
it's
not
not
allowed
something
to
people
face the Queen's head on a
face,
coin, though.
yeah. People
Yeah.
do it though.
Yeah. Did you
That's,
know if you were in Athens, Greece, and you burn the Greek flag, you automatically spend 5 years in jail?
A lot of these laws they're only on paper. They can't be enforced. So they're
Oh yeah,
essentially they're not.
they can. I mean, in America,
Yeah.
if you, I'm pretty sure in America, if you face the American flag, that's a criminal offence, I believe.
No, they get away with it still.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
interesting. When I was in Thailand, and I went to the movie theater. Before the movie starts, you actually have to stand up in the movie theater and pledge allegiance to the king. And if you don't, the ushers can call the cops and have you taken out of the movie theater. So it was strange. I saw 3 or 4 really good big movies, American movies in Thailand, and standing up before the movie plays and for the King's song at the same time where our American athletes were taking a knee, I thought was very interesting.
Huh. Did you know in Philippines now they play their national anthem before movies start?
Do you have to stand?
Yeah, I've seen articles on it where they've arrested people.
I think American free speech is being curtailed by your Google's, Facebook type companies.
I think
it's been stripped from Americans without them really realizing.
You got to. I agree, King Cubs. There's a far left liberal faction in some of these media, like Google, Twitter, and all that. And at the moment, it's gone so far one way, and they are curtailing free speech.
Yeah, Google.
What it is, it's like social credits, right?
All these
and you don't have enough social credits to be on YouTube anymore. Like Alex Jones is a great example.
All these platforms are privately owned companies. They can do whatever they want. They could stop.
Yeah, but Popeye, Facebook and YouTube is the public space. This is where people talk now. Okay, personally, I think they should probably either split them up like they did AT&T back in the day, or nationalize them.
It's not a public space. It's a company owned.
No, but it effectively is a public space because this is where people talk and discuss ideas now. So in effect, it is the public space.
They're a publisher.
They give you a public forum, but it is owned by them, and they set the rules and regulations.
Well, it should be nationalised and fall under the control of the government because it's the same with the telephone companies. They don't get to decide what you and I can talk about while on the phone. And Google, Facebook, etc. shouldn't have that right to just be able to dictate what we can discuss.
I don't know how it happened, but they made agreements with the government where they bypassed a few of the laws. And to be honest with you, Google, like Twitter and all these media outlets, Facebook, they should come under government laws.
Yeah, I think they should too. I hate them, but
You mean they should be regulated?
Yes. Yeah,
heavily.
See, because
at the moment, Popeye, what you're getting is far less liberals controlling the speech on the media.
This is what scares me. When King says it should be nationalized, that means total government control. To me, that's fucking socialism. When the government takes control of everything, of your utilities.
No. I don't think
you're already there, Popeye.
Of your private companies.
I don't think total control. I don't think total control. But they should come under the same laws as everybody else in the country.
Like the telephone companies used to be run. In the same way, they can't deny you service. It's illegal for them to deny you service. Electricity, water.
In America, if you own a private company, you have the right to deny anybody service.
Yeah, but Popeye, these private companies run the US now. The
Even
US government doesn't.
That's called capitalism. That's what we're based on. That's what we do. It's capitalism. It's about making money.
No, the US is a communist
But
country.
hang on.
Yeah.
Don't you also have
Well,
something in
dude,
your
I'm not insulting Australia here. Please, don't speak of something you don't know of.
Popeye? Don't you have something in your constitution that gives every citizen the right to free speech?
Yes, it does. That's the first.
And
That's
but
the
if you have a company in the US that then denies people free speech, aren't you going against your own constitution? I mean,
No, because it is a private company and a private entity that they own, and they are providing you a service, and you are actually paying for this service right now with all the ads are on it and everything. They
Well,
set
I
rules
block all
and
that.
regulation. When you're in actual public forum, your freedom of speech is not curtailed.
Yeah, but this is the public forum now,
It is
Popeye.
not a public forum. It is a private.
In effect, it is.
That provides a service for you.
In the way the internet operates in modern life, this is the public space. That's why we're all together talking.
When you
Not
say
down
it's a public forum,
we're not down the physical
public
public space talking like it was 100 years ago. Now we do it online.
when you say it is a public forum, that is wrong. Okay, it is
Yeah,
not.
technically, it's wrong. Technically, it is wrong.
Service to you.
Technically, it is wrong, but in effect, I'm right. It is the public space because this is where ideas and etc. are discussed now.
You know, I strongly suggest if you ever get the chance, come to America and learn about capitalism.
America is probably the least capitalist country there is today.
oh God, I don't know where you come from with that.
That's knowledge of a 22-year-old.
How is America capitalist? Everything's public funded.
Not
No,
everything
it's not.
funding, dude. I mean, see, I could say the same thing of you. I could even do worse. I could say, you've never been to America. You don't know what you're talking about. What gives you the authority? And where would that get us? That would get us nowhere.
I'll have 2 milk cakes, please.
Sounds all right. Anyway, I don't have the energy to get into politics after discussing Barry.
But see, whether you're a private or public company or whatever, I still think that those companies don't have the right to stifle free speech. I think, and that's what we're seeing in the media in the US, though, especially with Google and their far left views.
Yeah, I agree, Thunder. It should be just like the telephone companies. They provide the service to you, but they don't get to dictate what you can and can't talk about while on the phone.
Yeah, I agree.
Now you've got Google, Facebook dictating what you can and can't say. That has an impact on politics.
Well,
they're heavily involved in politics, and they have a huge influence on it.
If you look on YouTube at the moment, there's been lots of Senate inquiries into Google. Even Zuckerberg's been put on the stand and questioned about a lot of shit that goes on. And I know Google's under the hammer at the moment.
Yeah, they just lie.
And Congress
was
getting ready to regulate all these companies. Okay, and that is the most the Congress and the Senate can do with these companies is regulate them so they don't get out of hand.
Well, they should break them up, like they did with AT&T and shit like that back in the day.
They did threaten to do that to Microsoft at one stage.
Yeah, and that was only over an internet browser. Now look at the power Google wields today. That's ridiculous. Their advertising should be separated from the search, separated from YouTube. It should all be split up.
Have you ever traveled outside of Australia, King?
Yeah.
Where have you been?
I've been to the Philippines and I've been to Taiwan.
Okay, fair enough.
Next year, I'm going to Poland and the Ukraine.
Oh wow, that would be cool.
All right, when you get to Poland, you do me a small favor. Find a nice pub, have a drink, and talk with some of the Polish people. Okay.
Well, I'm half Polish, so I don't really need to.
Just hear me out. Let me finish, okay? I don't want to hear what you don't need to. Just ask them this one question. Can you please tell me what communism is like? Okay? Because in my experience of 20 years of traveling, I always got great information from local people.
I'm sure they'll tell me it's exactly communism is exactly what you see exerted by Facebook and Google.
Don't think what they're going to tell you
on American users today.
Take the action.
The thing is,
somebody fuck you. Is YouTube going to come and take you away, put you up against the wall and shoot you? Are they?
Thing is, we know
Russian communism was tyranny, mate. Pure tyranny.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I've heard the stories.
Communism.
It's going to get to that point. It's going to get to that point in America.
But hang on. Communism doesn't work. But capitalism needs to be controlled. You can't have people monopolizing. And I do know US have laws that will stop, like the media, from monopolizing, and you can only own so much of the media. And I think that's what they need to do with capitalism. It's a great thing, but it does need to be controlled.
It's Animal Farm revisited. Look what's going on in China, mate. How can you have a communist collective when you've got all these oligarchs who are rich as all hell? It's just
China
completely against.
They're only commie in name. They're capitalists by nature.
Yes, I agree with that one. And the biggest worry is that the current prime minister, president, whatever you want to call him in China, is taking them backwards at the moment. But they are, for all intents and purposes, pretty well a capitalist society at the moment.
It's a
I'm
tyranny.
going to reply to Baybots. Hey, Baybots, you got it wrong again. First, you said I'd be anti-gun. You're wrong. I'm very pro-gun. Second of all, you say I read too many Facebook group posts. I don't even have Facebook. I haven't had it for at least 10 years. So you're wrong again, mate.
Facebook's more trouble than what it's worth, to be honest with you.
Thank you,
Well, I just don't like...
Go, you love.
Hey, Cubba.
Yep. I had my Vegemite and cheese for breakfast.
Yeah, where were you for the Vegemite discussion?
If it's up to me, I put an AR-15 in the hands of every man, woman, and child here in Australia.
Oh my God!
But that's another issue in itself. I mean, guns have never been a problem. People have always
Imagine
been.
if you put if you took a load of AR-15s to Pep Minardi and give half of them to the Judas Priest gang and half of them to the evil warriors, can you imagine what's going to happen?
Yeah, you're going to get rid of a lot of people you don't want.
Exactly.
There's peace and harmony and rainbows everywhere with unicorns fighting.
But to bring up the gun thing, and guns have never been the issue. It's always been people that are the issue.
Dude,
guns are talking about guns the other week, but
their weapon of choice is a star picket.
You know, I tell you, worldwide we have a mental health issue.
Well, that's increasing worldwide.
Great idea.
Is that feedback coming from me or someone else?
In the background.
Is that me?
I think
got to get up anyway, but
I think it's Nathan. He's got something in the background going there.
Yeah, I've got a whole shopping centre going on here.
Yeah, I got to jump off. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, no
Don't
worries,
take anything
mate.
I say to heart because I don't take anything you guys say to heart. So
Very well.
I'm not easily
Carry on
offended.
smartly.
So anyway, have a good one. I'll talk to you later.
All right, mate.
Deal
Catch
with
you.
these rugrats. See
I
you
hope
later.
you take my advice.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I'll be there in April. So
I hope you take my advice. I
Yeah.
really do.
Have a good
all
trip.
right. Catch you later.
See ya. But going back to
We're going back.
the social media thing, there's a big issue at the moment with the social media and the far liberal views, and they are stifling free speech on those platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I understand what you're saying, Popeye, about the private companies and that, but even as a private company, you should still have to obey the laws of the country. And if free speech is one of those things, you should be allowing that. As long as it's not hate speech and such, but you should be allowed to have your opinion.
You know, you do have free speech, but I'll put it to you this way. This might bring it around for you. If you stand in the middle of a crowded room and you yell fire, guess what? That's the last time that's ever going to happen for you to do that. Okay? If you stand in an airport and you yell bomb, where are you going to end up?
Well, over here, mate, you end up in jail.
Right. Okay. Very good. All right. Now, keep that in mind when I say this. Yes, YouTube has, put out all these restrictions. And yes, they're shutting down conservative speech because they're liberal. But the American government is moving in and going to regulate them. Okay. And it is a private forum. Okay. But even private forums can be regulated.
Well,
Right?
when you say regulated, we need to be careful with that word. I'm not after for like massive regulation. I just think that they should be made to respect the constitutional rights of Americans, which they're not doing at the moment.
Right. Now, I'll bring you back to this. When you come on YouTube, you get your channel struck for doxing people. You get your channel struck for putting on pornographic. That's all free speech too.
I hear what you're saying, but then again, this is not the format for the porn.
Exactly. That's where regulations, when I say regulated, what they do is they write regulations and say, hey, you have to behave this way in order to conform with freedom of speech.
But what it comes down to is you can't be breaking the law. So, like, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure most countries now are legislating against things like doxing and even bullying now that they're starting to legislate. So, I mean, just because it's a private country doesn't mean a private company, sorry, you shouldn't be able to get around those laws, which is my argument with social media.
They have guidelines in place on YouTube for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a copyright. That's what you're doing is you're taking the money away from somebody, and I understand the copyright laws, so I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
The porn thing, well, mate, there's channels you can go to. Porn doesn't have a place here on YouTube.
You take any human being and you can write a rule and a regulation, and lo and behold, some fucking criminal like Mountain Dew will find a way around that rule and regulation. Ain't that right there, Primo?
Yeah.
MJ doesn't find ways around it. He just fucking bends them all the time.
How you doing, bro?
Good, man. What are you guys talking about, man?
Oh, all kinds of shit. I just had a little bit of a Donnybrook with a youngin.
Oh.
Young know-it-all.
Well, yeah,
Come on, when we were 18, 20 years old, we knew it all, didn't we?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think he's that young. He's got a few kids and that, but some of the things I understood what he was trying to come across, and he's allowed his opinion. We don't have to agree. The only thing I didn't like was attacking someone personally rather than attacking their opinion. Attack what they say. Don't attack the person because it lessens your argument.
See, how old are you, Thunder?
Me, I thought I was 56, but I think I'm 57. So
Okay, you're a 57 Chevy. So you know how to comport yourself. Does an 18 or a 22-year-old or even a 25-year-old know how to comport themselves?
oh no, you got a whole different mindset at that age.
See, that's why I didn't get too angry, especially how young he was. All right. And you see, I gave the guy a chance and I gave him some advice.
And having kids doesn't equate to maturity.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I agree, Warren.
Now, with age does come maturity, but there are exceptions to the rules. Just take a look at the Philippine genre and what people used to.
That's a good example, huh, Papa?
Yeah, some people might say that's a bad example.
That's just the way I see it. And when you get a young guy, I heard him say, "Oh, we're talking about the military back in 1966." If you're gonna be insulting it, at least get the decade right. It was the 80s, okay?
Who fucking remembers the 80s? Oh, mate.
I do. I enjoyed the 80s. I enjoyed the 70s.
My favorite fucking decade. Great fucking.
Right.
It took me a whole year to sober up after the 80s. Oh, hey, Carver, how you doing on World of Warships?
Oh man, yesterday I got the fucking HMAS Perth.
Oh,
it's the only, it's a cruiser. It's the only one. But they gave me and then I completed some fucking tasks, and they gave me some British battleship, which is fucking super thing.
There's
British battleship.
There's
all I got is cruisers and battleships.
I got the Texas.
I got the Texas as well, actually. Again, it's a good ship. It's one of my favourites, actually. Again, but shit. I don't know what I'm fucking doing here. I'm torn between going back to fucking warships, going outside because it's a fucking beautiful day.
It is.
Or sitting here.
Hey, Andy, has Andy been to the Philippines? Have you been to the Philippines, Andy?
I don't want to go. Oh, that's why I don't even talk about it. You know what I mean? You guys fucking.
You don't want to go. Why not?
Fucking Duarte. I don't support fucking regimes. When he changed, whole different thing if he's not there. I fucking know. It's the same with, we're talking about Bali. Personally, the cunts kill fucking druggies. Cunts have even just got taken, they fuck all that shit. I just don't support that shit. We all make our own choices. I'm not saying you guys have to do anything that I do. I do what I do, and I'm fucking happy with it.
I think me and Mountain Juice should take Andy to the Philippines, give him all the vitamin water he wants, and Filipinas he can handle.
Oh, boy.
He'd never want to leave.
What do you think, Kaba?
I mean, having listened to you guys, in hindsight, I wish when I fucking left, when I finished my last fucking place of employment, I fucking should have gone there and lived for a couple of years. Could have fucking, but as I said to my sister, who's lived in Fiji for 25 fucking years, Australia's the smallest island I want to fucking be on.
Yeah. We could have you standing out in front of a bar singing "She's My Filipino Baby." Her hair is long and black.
Her teeth are white and pearly, and I told her I'd be coming back. What do you
Can you
think?
imagine? Can you imagine Andy standing in the middle of a Filipino street, yelling out 99 bitches, 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one?
Yeah, that would be fucking hilarious. I would pay to see that.
Yeah,
Well,
I think he'd get a few super chats.
once, I mean, I shouldn't say I'm never ever going to do anything because my plan now is pretty well. Once the dog fucking passes on to the next fucking life, I'm just gonna fucking sell up and travel till I die. That's the plan.
I tell you, Nathan, that beard is wicked pista.
Yeah, no, it's impressive.
Probably more beer in that beard than there is in a can.
Especially impressive to a fucking person that doesn't have a fucking beard. I never had one. Fucking hell.
Dude, and I gotta tell you, Andy, I was fucking heartbroken what happened to the fucking Buccaneers. I watched the end of that game. That pissed me off so bad. They should have won it. They got robbed, Andy.
That's the game. I'm looking at that
Well,
last.
they didn't get robbed. They weren't. I mean, missing a kick at a field goal at 20 odd yards. That's ridiculous.
That fucking other team cheated, man. I'm telling you.
I'm a realist. I mean, realistically, that last touchdown from the Giants, no one should have let that fucking happen. Someone should have fucking, but I get it. They played a long game. They're under pressure. It's easy to have mind slips. The ball bounces, I mean, it's like in Aussie rules. If the ball bounces your way, it doesn't. So,
yeah. Fucking goddamn Giants got a lucky shamrock up their ass.
Probably the biggest complain about is you were playing at home. You know what I mean? They shouldn't have even got that close. I mean, I watched the highlights and they were a fair way ahead early, and then suddenly they kept coming. They kept coming back. So can't fucking not good fucking
Let me cheer you up, Cobber. Let's talk about the Steelers.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you bastard.
Again?
Hey, we're still there. We're still there.
Oh, man, I tell you. Hey, you guys, I want to invite you to my Bashathon tomorrow. Okay? At 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a 3-hour Bashathon. Okay? And
did they get the $500?
Dude, they're up to $720 right now.
Oh, wicked, man. That's really good to hear.
And it's a 3-hour Bashathon. You can say anything you want about the skid mark. You're all welcome on the panel.
Ollie and I are probably front row tickets.
I don't really have anything to say about it, but I'd join in just
you can root and rah, and you can say nice things about Nika, and you can beg for money, and you won't receive a penny. It'll all go to Nika.
No, in the last 12 hours, he's done 6 videos telling people how wonderful he is and how evil Nika is.
Yeah, I got a surprise for him come tomorrow morning. He's going to get hit with a Popeye 1 shot, and he's going to get hit with a fucking 3-hour Bashathon.
I'd like to come on the panel if possible, Popeye.
You're more than welcome. I will put the link in the live chat, and you just click on that biatch.
Hey, what the hell? I'm just reading this thing that someone put in the chat here about a 600-pound camel that sat on a woman and she bit its nuts to get it off. Woman bites camel's testicles to free herself.
You ever play with a camel's toe?
I believe you.
I love camel toe. There is no better sight in this world.
Oh. How about a moose knuckle? Have you ever played with a moose knuckle?
Yep.
I've never heard that one before.
Yeah.
I know people have.
If you haven't heard of a moose knuckle, you don't know enough dirty women.
EST, is that American or is that, are you talking about our EST? See, there's too many fucking time zones. What time is that? I mean, only because, you know.
Yeah, that's American time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
See, we got Eastern Standard Time as well. See,
So early hours of the morning, our time, Andy. I think. So maybe around 6, 7 o'clock or something like that in the morning here.
all right. I need to fucking. I should be hopefully awake. If I'm not
Something
fucking.
like that.
Me and fucking.
Kava, you get up. I will send you a personal invite through Messenger. You get up, Kava. You make a cup of Joe, and you're more than welcome.
My problem is I've been going to bed at like 4 a.m. fucking this week. Fucking. I do have to fucking get together. I'm gonna fucking go out. I'm going out tomorrow night. Fucking.
Oh, you date.
All right.
You gonna bring the bird back to your place, Andy?
Huh?
You gonna bring the girl back to your place?
Come on, if I took anyone back here, they'd go, "What the fuck?" They'd not go, "What the fuck? I'm gonna clean this house up," or they'd go, "What the fuck?" and leave.
All right, go back to her place.
I'd probably go back to her place or a hotel. I'd fucking rather pay for a fucking motel myself.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And there's a good one. I think. Remember that one you were in Thunder where the cops came and we were playing D&D?
Oh yeah.
That's a good one. I fucking didn't know that was there. That's a nice, tidy little hideaway place. I fucking like it. It's probably
Do you have protection, Andy?
One of those things. Go the Tigers. Fuck the Tigers. Go fucking Sydney. Fuck Victorian teams.
Andy, answer the question. Do you have protection?
Nah.
Well, do yourself a favour and get some.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not very fucking likely.
You never know if you never go.
Hey, I'll fucking use leather if I fucking have to.
Hey, I always say no glove, no love.
That's not what you said last night, Popeye.
Shh, don't give my secrets away, damn it.
I'm going to give you
Sorry.
if I remember.
Hey, and don't attack the man. Attack the statement.
Hey, so where's that fund at, Popeye? How much is there for the Nika fund? How much money did they?
We were up to $720.
700. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if we reach 1,000, okay, Don C will give $250 on top of it.
Jesus Christ, on you, Don C.
Well, great respect for that guy, man. Great respect. And remember the other premise I made, guys? You could come on, you can insult the Patriots.
That I will fucking gladly do.
Right? I'm a man of my word. They made the mark, so I have to keep my word, right?
Hey, hang on, you're not bad with Photoshop, so I reckon if they do make that $1,000 mark, you need to do a Photoshop of Tom Brady in a dress and high heels.
That's asking a little much.
You should do Frank in the dress and high heels.
Now you're crossing the line. Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No. If you did that, Warren, if you did that to Frank, I don't think anyone would bat an eyelid. It's kind of expected, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Has Frank ever came on this show before, Thunder?
Yeah, and thankfully Warren blocked him after he was just a total
he never jumped on the panel?
No.
No.
He never comes on the panel. He sits in a live chat and says vile shit. And I was actually the one that blocked his ass.
I think last time I seen it, Warren, because Warren was trying to be really nice about him being here, and then he was just a total jerk. Hey, how you doing, TNC?
I know.
He played it off
I'll tell you right now, man. I'll tell you right now. He was in Roberto's chat while I was on the panel, and I just got tired of it. And I fucking said, no more platform for you and your bullshit. Bye bye. Just like the Filipina says when she's done with you, bye bye you.
Bye bye you. I don't mind giving anyone the chance to have a say here, but guys like him, they really don't deserve that opportunity.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Now, an abrasive little bastard like my Miho, he deserves an opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think about this, Paul. It's probably not a good idea if I'm allowed to come on there and say anything I fucking like. None of you cunts will be talking to me at the end.
No, you can come on, say anything you like. I don't care.
Well, I guess you insulted some people, Popeye, because I guess when you made the statement that it's hard to be friends with a Filipina, I guess some guys got mad at that, man.
They didn't comprehend that. You can't be a friend with a Filipina. You can't. Okay? You just can't. Right? Sooner or later, it's going to turn into love. That's Asian fucking culture. You'll find that in Vietnam. You'll find that in Cambodia.
That's generalizing, though, I think, Papa. I think...
No, Rick. That's actually part of their culture.
Yeah, but if we play percentages, by the percentage, it's come on. If you play by the percentages, man.
You ever see the movie Good Morning Vietnam?
No, I've got to watch that.
Okay. Robin Williams is standing in the middle of the rice paddy, and he's talking to the girl he's in love with. And she tells him, we are from two different worlds. We cannot be together. Okay? And he says, well, how about just friends? No, you cannot be friend with woman in Vietnam. It is not in our culture, and it's not in their culture. Now, I will grant you, as Mountain Dew says, yeah, you'll find a few women you can be friends with. But sooner or later, you keep hanging around that Asian girl, her culture is going to kick in.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? You got a problem. Okay? You got a problem. And if you don't believe me, get your ass over there, give it a shot, and see what happens, and come back and talk to me.
Yeah, it's exactly, man. I didn't even know. Did you know that Arlie Ermy was married to a Filipina?
No, he did not.
Yeah, that's actually how he got his acting career. When he was in the Philippines, he went to acting school in the Philippines in Manila.
Oh, okay.
Who are you talking about, MJ?
Arlie Ermy.
Don't know.
Oh yeah.
He was the drill instructor, the guy in Full Metal Jacket.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, and Thunder, I'm speaking from just a cultural aspect of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Here in America and Australia, you could be friends with a female. I've actually seen platonic relationships. It happens because we're in a whole different plane the way we think about females. You catching my drift, man?
Yeah, I do know that over there there's a whole different expectation. The male-female relationship.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, most of the time when
that's not with. I don't think that's with everyone.
If you're gonna meet like a Filipina and you're on vacation or something or whatever, and I mean you're an American, whatever, Australian, they're not gonna just want to meet you to be friends. It's
Didn't you meet that school teacher over there, though, MJ, the one you donated to some charity? Weren't you friends with a Filipino over there? That she was a school teacher.
Yes, but that's the difference. I mean, she's older. She's also older. She's older than me.
Yeah, she's old enough to be MJ's mom.
No, not that old.
Oh, dude, if she's 30, is she in her 30s?
Oh no, she's in her 40s.
Oh, she's old enough to be your mom. And on the cusp. And on the cusp of being your grandma.
No, but see, there was a difference. She's just more educated, and she's just older. So I mean, that's just she were just friends. You know what I mean? We met through a mutual
Tell
friend.
me, all the time you spent together, did you get a feeling that she was like wanting something more?
No.
Oh, she didn't approach you in that way at all, huh?
No.
Give her a couple more years. She'll hit the she'll hit the cougar stage.
No. But I mean, if you meet a younger Filipina like that, you know, and you're a man, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, they're not. It's because they want a relationship, man. For the most part, play percentage wise, yeah, most Filipinos gonna want a relationship. They're just not gonna want to be friends. And Filipinos move fast in a relationship. So when a guy says, "Oh, we gotta be friends with them for a while," nah. Most Filipinos, as soon as they meet you, after a few days, man, they want to start going out with you, man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, when you go over there, you better keep 3 words out of your mouth, okay? And while you're banging the shit out of her, do not say "I love you," okay? Don't do it. Don't do it.
They get attached quick, man. The Filipinos get attached quick.
It'll be a tick you'll never get off your skin.
Again, that's I guess, like you're saying, it's a bit of a cultural thing.
Mm-hmm. And that's all. Who did I piss off when I said that?
You know, man, our special little friend, man.
Oh, okay.
We were generalizing, and we were defacing Filipinas.
Oh God. Okay. The moral authority has spoken.
Moral authority. Yeah.
Respect my authority.
Yeah. But yeah.
Fucking. No, I better shut up. Fucking. I was listening before, and I thought to myself, you guys talk about the white knights. In a way, I'm playing the devil's advocate here. You guys harassing whoever, it's like being a white knight. Because you're thinking about the whole fucking community. Because you don't like someone.
They're more like Batman than fucking the Dark Knights.
The Dark Knights.
Thank you. Thank you.
Which one? I'm guessing Popeye's Batman and MJ fucking Robin.
Well, you ain't fucking Catwoman.
That's for damn sure, man. When's Catwoman coming into the scene?
Look,
you're gonna meet some hot, you're gonna meet some cute Filipina out there, and just want to be friends. Yeah, let's see y'all go out and get drunk, and let's see if y'all just end up not being friends or end up fucking at the end of the night, man. Come on, man.
If I go to Philippines with you two, I'll be coming back with a fucking ring on my finger.
I'll tell you, you give one of those Filipinos a good dicking, it's all over for you, buddy. And that's not saying anything bad about them. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, they move quick, and like relationship wise, man, they want to be in a relationship quick. It's none of this, going out with them for a while, or it ain't like the West, man. They want to start going out with you quick.
As for that culture of that getting together, now, I think you find that if you're a foreigner in any country, you tend to have that touch of exotic to you.
Mm-hmm. Dude, once they give up that quiff, that's like you put a ring on their finger.
Yeah, I hope they don't put a ring on your dick, mate, and end up having to have a shot in the ass.
That's it. No ifs, ands, buts about it.
But I know this shit's been going on. I've just tried to avoid it for the last few days because I just cannot see cannot see the point in fucking
Well,
tit for tat.
I found it quite refreshing to come on here and argue a little bit with the youngin. Okay, it was great.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of funny because he brought up some things that I'd had to disagree with, and that's one we don't talk about Barry all that often anymore. He hasn't been, and if it is, it gets pretty well dropped pretty quickly. No one goes on and on about it anymore. I mean, he's a non-issue.
Dude, how many times I come on here and say, "Don't say the fucking B word."
Yeah.
And for fuck's sakes, who doesn't like World of Warships? What a fucking stick in the mud.
Yeah, he's a World of Warcraft guy. That's what the problem is.
Oh, he's a high-tech Dungeon and Dragon boy.
That's right.
Pretty well, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I get it now.
And fucking the way the fucking the medical fucking us baby boomers gonna live forever. Fuck you, buddy.
Andy, if anybody else comes on this channel and puts down World of Warships, you let Uni know, bro. I'm gonna fucking give him hell. Okay?
Have you been playing it much, Popeye?
Dude, it's addicting. It's cutting into my Popeye.
You know what? I saw the computer one that y'all are playing, man. But there's actually a better one, man. I think it's World of Warship Blitz, man. It's on iPhone. It's on your iPad. You can put it on your iPad.
Really?
Yeah, it's called World of Warships Blitz. Same thing. Pretty sure it's probably by the same.
Yeah, it's run by the same mob.
Yeah, because it looks the same. Looks exactly the same.
All games. They've got World of Warplanes, World of Warships, World of Tanks, Steel Division, some game called Pagan, which is their version of fucking World of Warcraft, I imagine. World of Warship Blitz, World of Tanks Blitz, World of Warships. They even got World of Warships Legends, but that's for Xbox and PS4.
Pretty soon they're going to be coming out World of Filipinas.
I remember, man, in Japan, man, they used to have these weird, like, sex video games, man.
And the sex comics, mate.
Man, they're weird about that shit, man. In Japan, man, they have
comic strips where women are getting raped and shit. And
man,
their sex crimes over there are like nearly non-existent.
Oh,
they got like weird fetishes out there, man.
They have got some weird things out there.
Did you ever date one of those girls in the school dresses?
I saw a lot of those in Tokyo, man. They'd have them lined up out in Tokyo, man, in like Roppongi district. I remember seeing those girls. They just dress them up in.
There's a couple of YouTube girls, but they're usually college girls that they're exploiting over there.
Yeah.
They are weird. I mean, I've seen one YouTube channel talking about Japanese culture, and one of the things over there, you go hire yourself a girlfriend and you sit down and have a meal and a drink, and then you can sit there with your fucking head in her lap. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, don't knock it until you've tried it.
Yeah,
it is a weird culture, though. It's
well, they're like I mean, they don't have a lot of other influence. It's Japanese, man. They don't.
Dude, they're fucking this. When it comes to this sexuality, they know no bounds, man. I've seen this one guy. I forget what his blog name was. He was going around Tokyo, and he said, "See here, you can go in and rent this room for 4 to 5 hours just so you can have sex." And I never thought in my world that fucking Japan had short time rooms. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do they still do short times in Philippines?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You mean short time? You mean short time hotels?
Yeah, you take a girl to a room for.
I'm pretty sure they do, because I even saw like signs for like places where you get 4 to 5 hours or.
Well,
Yeah.
they still do short time. Okay.
Yeah, they still got them. Mm-hmm.
You take me short time. I love you long time.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there was a lot of Russians though, man. Even when I was in Tokyo, there was like a lot of Russians in Tokyo, man.
Same in Thailand, I heard that.
Who wants to go all the way to Tokyo to fuck a pasty white woman? Okay, come on.
Yeah, they got them in Thailand. So I remember there was like a Russian. I remember I went to Thailand back in the day. There was Russians there.
A couple of mates of mine had trouble with Russians over in Thailand. Very arrogant, really pushy.
Probably the Russian mob, man. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Russian mafia down there. I mean, they were in Tokyo.
Some Russian girls don't sooner cut your nuts off than look at you.
Yeah, they're crazy, man.
I would say you're right, MJ, because they have the nightclubs there with the Russian girls in there, and how they get them girls to actually work there when you can't work there as a foreigner. There's definitely something going on with the authorities and some organised crime there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head with that one there, Thunder.
Yeah. But I think they've been there for a long time, man. They've been there for a while, you know.
But it's definitely, last time I heard from someone that went there, it seemed to be packed out with Russians in certain areas.
Yeah. I went to Russia, man, once. It was pretty cool. I mean, I don't really like the women, man. They're too tall, man, but I mean, too tall.
Well, you got to remember the Viking blood in them, mate.
Yeah.
Damn, he's been busy in the past 24 hours. 1 hour ago, 16 hours ago, 17 hours ago, 18 hours ago, 20 hours ago. Fuck. Not
That's
even I. Holy fuck.
That's what Warren was saying. He'd done about 6 live streams in 12 hours or something.
Yeah.
6 live.
Oh, dude, man, did you hear me on Roberto's show?
Yeah, I heard you a little bit, man. I didn't hear everything, though.
Oh, dude, I fucking dogged his ass out in fucking Tagalog, and I fucking told him, have your fucking so-called girlfriend fucking translate it for you.
No.
It's going to be a good one tomorrow, guys. I want you there, man. I want you there.
Tomorrow, what time?
10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It's nice and early for you there. MJ will still be asleep, mate.
That's 7. I'll be up. Hopefully.
Get a cup of Joe. Oh, even at 7 a.m., if you get up, have a cup of Joe, it's going to go 3 hours, you know?
MJ will be sitting there with a coffee and a blunt.
Yeah, it's called Wake and Bake over here, Popeye.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Go for it. Get in the proper frame of mind.
Yeah.
Just don't turn into a BK, all right?
BK.
All right.
We were swapping comments in live stream the other day, but he's blocked me now because unfortunately it's too easy to make him look stupid, and he realised it himself. So now he's blocked me.
Oh, dude, he goes on all other channels talking mad shit in a live chat about everybody, man.
What's funny, man, he had this troll account, right? And you could only tell it's him because you know how he types all fucked up and his English is all fucked up. And you could tell it was only him, dude.
I know. I feel like correcting his grammar all the time. But...
Dude, all you gotta do is tell him, hey, BK, right click, check the menu out, click again, and everything will be fixed.
Yeah.
Look, he's a sensitive guy. What can you say?
He's very sensitive.
He is
Very.
sensitive. That's one thing. That's for sure.
How about you guys? Are you sensitive? Huh? You gonna get pissed at me if I bust your balls? Huh?
So what's up, man?
Kind
Is Donald Trump gonna get impeached, man, or what, Popeye?
Say again, bro.
Is Trump gonna get impeached, or what? What's going on with that?
Oh, these silly fucking cunts. She
What
comes.
did he? What is it about?
She co- It was a big nothing burger, right? He released a transcript, fucking, of the phone conversation he had. There's no quid pro quo in there, no nothing, and they're still railing, right? And Nancy Pelosi comes on and she says, "We are going to do an impeachment inquiry." That ain't shit. If you're going to impeach him, you have to have a full vote in the House. And it's called a resolution. And they need 218 votes in order to have impeachment. They ain't got it.
Yeah.
That's what's so funny, man. It was all a big fucking nothing burger. And even the president of Ukraine was with the president of the United States in a live press conference. And the president of Ukraine said, no, he did not pressure me. He did not say he was going to hold back funds if I did not do this or that. And the Democrats look like fucking blooming idiots.
Wow.
It's fucking hilarious. It's called Trump derangement.
Yeah.
I mean, you should know all about that. You live in California.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You see it on a daily basis. I know you do.
Oh yeah, man. Shit. All over the place, man.
You know? And I got to give the president of Australia, or prime minister, excuse me, of Australia credit. He come over. He was quite the gentleman. He had a good conversation with President Trump, and I thought it was great, man. My hat's off to Australia. Look at, we're the only two left, man. They muted each other. They must be talking behind our backs.
No. I just had to go check on the dog outside.
Oh, okay.
And what kind of dog do you have, Thunder?
What's that?
What kind of dog you have?
An American Bulldog. I had three of them, actually.
I was actually thinking about getting my brother actually got one, man, and it's actually a pretty smart dog. It was like Australian Shepherd, man.
Yeah.
Does he have trouble breathing?
What?
Your Thunder, your dog, does he have trouble breathing?
No. She's an Alan Scott type, so they're longer in the face.
Right.
They're what they call the standard type.
When I hear bulldog, I see that flat nose.
It's not like don't mistake. The American Bulldog is nothing like the English Bulldog. Totally different dog.
Oh, okay. All right.
Totally different. The American Bulldog in the US is a working dog. It's a working breed.
Very well. Okay.
I like the French Bulldogs, man.
Do you?
The Bordeaux.
Yeah, but they're they're expensive, man. I ran across one before, a breeder, but she wanted I forget, but she wanted like 8,000.
Oh geez, that's too much. Yeah. I've had English Mastiffs, English Bull Mastiffs. They were beautiful dogs.
So I gotta ask a favor of you, Mountain Dew.
Yeah, man.
When my dog gets old, will you come and get him? Because I know you'll be able to keep him happy. You're always sparking up.
Oh Jesus, Steve! Where did that come from? But if you Google American Bulldogs, there's a few types. you have the Johnson types. You have, which is a kind of a more a bully type. You have the Alan Scott types, which is what they call a standard, and then you have old Southern whites. I'm a big fan of the old Southern white type varieties, which they still use for pigging and cattle dogs, shit like that. I've even I used to have a video of a breeder sent to me from the US of his dogs dropping bulls on their backs, mate. The dog would go up, grab the fucking bull on the nose, turn itself in midair, and the bull would end up on its back.
Huh.
Yeah, I had 3 Bobsy. Beautiful dogs. I mean, I tell you what, mate, the kind of dog you won't want to mess with. Unbelievable dog. Actually, the modern pit bull these days, if you look at it pre-1970s, the American pit bull has changed, and that was because a guy, painter, back in the 70s bred them with the American bulldog because the top fighting dog, American pit bull, got its ass whipped by a guy, actually Alan Scott's American bulldog, whipped its ass. So now what they've been doing since the 70s is breeding the American bulldog into the pit bull to get a bigger, stronger dog.
I'll tell you honestly, I am a firm believer that you should have to obtain a license to have a pit bull. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll tell you why. Let me finish. I'll tell you why. And what I mean by that is, every time I've seen a pit bull attack on the news, and they interviewed the owner or explained who the owner was, they were fucking idiots. They knew nothing about dogs. Period. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my take on it. Is number one is that dogs are not an issue. No breed is really an issue. It's the people that own them that are the biggest issue.
Yeah.
Secondly, what happens is dogs become fashionable. And when a breed becomes fashionable, it's the worst thing that can happen to any breed, because then lots of people get that dog, and you get the wrong owners getting hold of those dogs. It happened with Rottweilers, it's happened with Dobermans, and it's happened with German Shepherds.
Yeah, I mean, I know. The neighborhood I grew up in, man. Oh, a lot of my buddies, man, they used to fight fucking bulldogs. They used to fight pit bulls. They used to fight Rottweilers. I mean, they would inject steroids into the dogs.
Yeah, and those guys, you know what happened to those guys? They should be in a ring and made to fight each other.
Yeah, I never liked the shit. I never liked it. I'm a big dog lover. But oh yeah, I
love my dogs, and I like my bull breeds, and I've only ever owned bull breeds, but I do not, and I will never condone dog fighting. To me, fucking that's just abuse, you know. And these are animals that will do anything for you, you know. I just think it's wrong.
Yeah, that French bulldog was a Merle.
I had an itch to scratch, so I had to go scratch it, and I did really well. But typical, I couldn't fucking respond because I'd muted myself. I didn't want to bother you. But fuck Popeye, our fucking cunt of a fucking prime minister, doesn't want to fucking give the fucking pensioners a pay rise, but he's having to give NASA $150 million. He's a fuckhead. He might appear nice, but he's a fuckhead nonetheless.
Very well. I was just saying he was very nice and polite when he came over here.
Shit, I'd be polite too if I was over there.
See, I don't have an issue with money. I don't have an issue with money going to NASA, because a lot of good shit comes out of NASA that affects all of our lives one way or the other. The pension issue, and that's a whole different thing, and that's fucking typical of any politician here.
But they haven't got the money to fucking get to raise up pensions, apart from their own, of course. But having to share what we can find, and we're in debt, but we can find $150 million to give to what most would say one of the richest countries on the fucking planet. Well, that just seems a bit fucking idiotic to me. But I didn't vote for the fucker.
Well, you got to no. Hang on. Remember, NASA works on a budget, so NASA only get so much. So, and a lot of stuff that comes out of NASA, we get to use in everyday life. I mean, satellites and all the rest of it. And,
now you'd be telling me that, phone, because Formula One cars fucking help with cars, that we should be donating money to those cunts as well.
well, we don't have to because big companies donate to them. And you know what? Hang on. It does happen, Andy, because when the Formula One was here in Adelaide and obviously now in Melbourne, those governments, Melbourne, the Victorian government and the South Australian government, were putting money into this sport to put on those events.
Well, no, it doesn't make it right, because at the end of the day, I'm more of a fucking socialist than a capitalist.
But hear me out, Andy. When I said that about your prime minister, I was just showing respect for your country and your people. That's it.
All right.
Because I've never lived in Australia, and I don't know your politics.
The thing is, we have close ties with the US, and it's always going to be that way. And
they've got a base in our country. What more do they want?
I've had close ties with some Australian women. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts too. No, but you're gonna. I mean, we've been tied up with America for a long time now, and that's not going to change. We've seen it with the Gulf Wars from the late '80s, and even Vietnam. We're going to continue supporting the US. I mean, doesn't matter what prime minister we have in power at the time. That's just the way it is. And personally, I think I like the idea of having the close ties and the good relationship with the US.
I'd like to get back over to Australia and have some close ties with some of them gals in Tasmania again. That's what I'd like to do.
Just not the ones with two heads.
I think you're correct. Now, if every male on this planet thought like that, there'd be no wars, no nuclear bullshit, no strife. They'd all be too busy shagging, mate.
That's true. But unfortunately, we don't live in that world. And we spoke about this not long ago. If America didn't have the military power that it does, this fucking world would be in a whole fucking lot of hurt, I reckon.
We don't know that for sure. That's just a what if.
No, we don't know that for sure, but that's just my opinion. I think countries like China, Russia, all these other small European countries, they would have been fucking running amok if America didn't have the military power that it has.
What if?
It makes people think.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm not saying we're holding the world together, but
it's not you. I mean,
there is a lot of countries out there that want to blow it apart.
Well, they don't seem to be doing. They don't seem to be doing that though.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, it'd be a whole different fucking world. I mean, we've got the US fleet here, there, and fucking everywhere. If there was a Russian fleet or a Chinese fleet sitting off the coast of America, what kind of fucking hell would you guys be going berserk?
Hang on. But in international waters, it's a different thing.
Not really.
And
they do hang off America.
Well, Russia's pretty close to America, so they'd have every right to fucking put a fleet off the the fucking end of their.
I remember when we went to Russia, we were allowed to go on their boats, check out all types of shit, man. Man, their living conditions on their boat, Popeye. Oh man, they're fucking filthy, man.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. I wouldn't want to be on a Russian boat, man. I'll tell you that, man.
Yeah, MJ, the issue there is they don't have the money to run the military that they got. That's the problem.
Yeah, man.
Huh? Do you know the main mission of the United States Navy?
What is that?
I'm going to tell you the main mission. It's to keep all neutral waterways open for everyone.
That is the United States Navy's main mission.
I thought it was just going to port and banging a bunch of broads, man.
I did too my first few years. But then I fucking matured.
That's a joke.
They do say that sailors have a girl in every port, don't they?
Hell yeah. Oh God. But that's their main mission.
But I would hate to see what would happen if America didn't have the military power that it does have. I would hate to see Russia or China in that position.
And we this is a what if, we don't know. It might be a whole different fucking world too. You know what I mean? We might all be start to fucking get along. It's the 21st century. We should all be able to get the fuck along by now.
Human nature, Andy, doesn't allow for that.
Of course it fucking does. It's called fucking tolerance. It's called fucking stiffing up and being tolerant.
But we don't have that. It's human nature.
We don't have that. Some of us don't have that. Don't fucking put us all in the same fucking basket there, Cobber.
No, I'm talking human nature.
I'll tell you, when I was on the ship, man, I wish I had Andy on my gun mount. Because I knew I know for a fact if I had Andy on my gun mount, he'd be pointing, he'd be saying, "Go, Cobber, fuck him over, pull that trigger."
He would if he was on one of those fucking
nice. We would have been we would have pulled the world by
You put Andy behind a 50 cal and the fucking trigger would be pulled.
I'm older now. That's older, hopefully wiser. I'd fucking like to think so.
He'd also be yelling, "For fuck's sake, keep firing!"
Yeah,
it would be a pleasure to have Andy on a gun mount.
They're in the water swimming. Keep shooting.
Could you imagine that, Jewy?
Who, Andy?
Yeah, Andy on a gun mount, man. That would be just fucking boss, wouldn't it?
Oh boy!
And he'd be yelling out, "Take that, you cunts!" while he's fucking pulling that trigger.
What gun mounts did you work on, Jewy?
The 50 cal, 60 small arms, man. I was on an LSD, man.
Oh, okay. So you were never on a big gun?
Oh man, it was I went to school for VBSS.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Visiting board search and seizure. I remember we went to and man, those things would hurt, man. They would have us do like tactical drills and shit like that, like real life shooting. But they would use these. It would be like the same speed. I mean, you would use real guns, but these rounds were like hard, fucking plastic.
Yeah, they're like hard rubber.
Oh man, when you would get hit with those things, man.
Yeah, you woke up.
Oh yeah. Man, that shit fucking hurt, man.
Oh, that's fucking.
He has all types of gear on too, man. But yeah, shit.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna hit my rack, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow in the live chat and on the live stream. Okay.
Yeah, no worries. Yep.
All right. And Cobber, it's always good to talk to you, mate.
Yeah, good. Yeah, no, good to see you too. Hey, so I haven't sent anything lately, but I've got something to send you actually. But it's about. No, it's polite. I'll send it to you too. It's a thing
I know you're always there, bro. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I'm going to call it quits too. It's too nice a day to be sitting in here. So
there you go. All right, MJ, take it easy, buddy.
All right, bro.
Thanks for coming on, Popeye. Thanks, MJ. Thanks, Andy, Warren, Don C, King of Carbs, Nathan. Who else do we have on here? Thanks to Warren. But yeah, I'm going to kill this, and who knows, I might come on later tonight, my time or something like that. But might get out in the sun for a while. But thanks for joining us, all you guys in the chat. Thanks for jumping in, and
No worries, man. Well, yeah, no, I'm like I said, I'm torn. I've got me fixed now. I fucking did me tasks. Probably fucking go and go sit outside for a while. 20 minutes of sunlight is supposed to be really good for you.
Yeah, I seen. I got a message from because I just couldn't sleep last night. I popped on for a little while and ended up with a message from Manic here.
Did you see me? Because we were talking. Him and I were talking on StreamYard because you don't have. It's actually. I'd actually say it's better than fucking Discord actually because you don't actually. The other day I thought, where the fuck is that stream that I fucking had? Well, I didn't actually press go live, so we were just talking to each other. There was no recording. You know what I mean? So it's kind of in a way better than fucking Discord. Fucking. So did you see me last night? Because I had issues with. I said we were talking. We were timing our battles. We'd go, click now, and we joined the battle together because we couldn't see each other. We weren't online. I seen that you were online, and I told him you were online, and I told him to fucking say hello because
I didn't see you. No, I don't know when someone's online in the game. Usually, I just get a message out of the blue from either you or going, "Hey, Magic."
You know that little red fucking. There's a little red thing down the bottom with 3 dots on the fucking on the screen where your ships are. You click on that, it opens up and it'll show you fucking who's on and who's not.
Okay, no worries. Oh, Magic, we're just about to end the show, mate. It's been on for a few hours. But I'm going to close this off, guys. It's too nice a day to be inside, so I might go out for a while with the dog and then might even go have a game of warships and see what happens. But thanks for joining us, everybody. You all take care. Catch you, Andy.
See ya. See you later. See you, everyone. Bye-bye. Crikey. I can't do it as well as him, but I'll do it anyhow. Crikey.